be on after the Caps game, probably around 9:45 p.m.-ish.
We have hockey right now. Jaromir Jagr skating at Nassau Coliseum. Caps hockey coming your way in mere seconds. We'll see you after the game.
NASCAR fans, you found your ultimate destination. Sunday mornings at 10, don't miss NASCAR Tech. A look at the technology that drives the sport. Followed at 10:30 by NASCAR This Morning, your 90-minute live pre-race show. Sunday night, catch NASCAR Victory Lane All Access. And under the hood look at a different driver each week. And stay ahead of the pack with the latest NASCAR news and features. It's Totally NASCAR, weeknights at 6. The Salvo Auto Parts Comcast Sportsnet NASCAR calendar. First to the finish line every time.
Every day is game day on Comcast Sportsnet.
Every day is a game day at Comcast
Sportsnet.
All right. Okay, here we go. Every day is game day on Comcast Sportsnet. Can I say it in Spanish?
Anytime.
Anytime.
You don't want to be like Sporty and get on the first try.
Every day is game day on Comcast Sportsnet. Let me try to see how one goes. Every day is game day on Comcast Sportsnet.
Comcast Sportsnet.
Comcast Sportsnet.
Comcast Sportsnet.
Comcast Sportsnet. Cut.
It doesn't get better than Caps intensity, and Comcast Sportsnet hits the ice all season long for the Washington Capitals. Tune in the pregame coverage live from the arena on BWI Sportsnet at 6:30. And then after the game, when you crave more, stick around for locker room interviews, highlights, and analysis on Sports Night, presented by Northrop Grumman Information Technology. The best matchups, the hardest hits, the greatest players, and the most comprehensive coverage. It's 40 nights of Caps intensity. Get it all only on Comcast Sportsnet.
When goaltenders have their game faces on, the end results can be both frustrating and breathtaking. Ole Kolzig and Patrick Laughlin put on quite a display last night. Like heavily padded gymnasts, their acrobatics were of the finest caliber and produced a rarely seen 0-0 tie. The Caps were quick to congratulate their stopper, who made sure 1 point was better than none. Before this season started, the New York Islanders made a playoff appearance their focal point. First-year Isles who have no contact with the sufferings of the past can help make it a reality tonight. Hear ye, gather round. The Caps and Islanders are yours to enjoy next. Time to get right to work. It's a short trip from D.C. to Long Island, and Comcast Sportsnet is ready to play live with the New York Islanders and the Washington Capitals. A very pleasant good evening to you. Along with Craig Laughlin, I'm Joe Bennannatti. Craig, the Washington Capitals couldn't break through Patrick Laughlin last night, but not for a lack of effort. Washington's top scoring threats were on the ice an awful lot.
And you're talking Zubris, Jagr, and Peter Bondra. They had plenty of chances throughout the hockey game to get the Capitals the win. Here's the best chances. Zubris, Jagr, and give and go. Zubris denied on the doorstep. Peter Bondra from long range. Nice slap shot. Nice save by Laughlin. Peter Bondra trying to go to Simon and then gobbled up right there by Laughlin. Jaromir Jagr had a couple of chances. There's one of them just chipped wide. Always cruising around the net. Neat deflection just off the right pad. You look at their numbers. Jaromir Jagr, no points in the last 6, but playing real well. 26-55. Dinah Zubris lugging the mail for Jaromir Jagr. Open up room. 23 plus, and Peter Bondra is a streaky goal scorer, has 4 goals in the last 4 games, and he too over 23 minutes. When it's crunch time, you've got to play your gunners. I look for it not to change tonight.
There's no shame in relying on your aces to help get you through the night, and Ron Wilson knows that. Getting ready for tonight, Ron, do you think these guys will get the same amount of ice time if it warrants?
Definitely, and it depends on the type of a game that develops. If you get a couple goal lead, you feel a little more relaxed in putting other people on the ice. But in a game as it was last night, 0-0, halfway through the game, you see his scoring's going to be difficult to come by. And so you start to rely on the offensive people a little bit more. And you have to worry about the game that you're playing that night. You can't worry about the game the next night.
We have seen Jaromir Jagr carry defenders with him to the goal, and it may be wearing on him now. He's been doing that for weeks.
And he has no goals in the last 6 games, but I don't think that's an indication of just how well this guy has played. He has 14 points in his last 11. Last night in that hockey game, he was giving input to the coaches, which they really appreciated during crunch time and down the stretch. And Jaromir Jagr in this type of game, he's very passionate about his play, and he's played that way. He wants to get into the postseason.
Ole Kolzig got the sense early on last night that he needed to be razor sharp. Patrick Lalime wasn't going to budge, and neither was he, and that's been his pattern lately.
He's been red hot, undefeated in those last 4, 28 saves for his 6th shutout. There, a nice one on Red and one on Salo, the follow-up. And Alfredson long-range shot snared. Here's a nice little McEachran coming laterally across the crease. Bump to McEachran, denied in tight late. Ole Kolzig's numbers, the last 4, downright impressive. 3-on-1. You see the goals he's allowed. Stopped 95% of the rubber. And his goals against is under 1. Kolzig has been terrific. He's going to have to be that good tonight for the Capitals to get a win here.
Now the New York Islanders are on the verge of something special. That would be playing deep into the month of April. A recent performance in Boston, one for them to build on.
Yeah, that was a great performance. They were outshot 40-18, but got the win because of this overtime marker. Kabashu's come on of late, comes up the ice. He's going to split Gill and O'Donnell as he's falling one-handed underneath the goaltender Defoe. They win 2-1. A big win for the Islanders. They need a point tonight to secure their playoff position.
It was one not-so-slight adjustment to the top line that has produced a number of scoring chances for the New York Islanders and plenty of high times.
Well, they moved Pekka's wingers up with Yashin, and now this line of Parrish, he's 5+5 in the last 11. He's a sniper. In close, he's tough. And Alexei Yashin, he's the big fella, the real catalyst for this line. He has 10 points. And in Bates, he's the worker bee on that line. He's a grinder that can deliver offensively. Defensively, he's solid. His plus-minus right near the top. That line has to be shut down.
Could it be we went 5 minutes without mentioning the streak?
What streak?
What streak? Exactly the mindset the Capitals need to have tonight. It's the Caps and the Islanders, and it's coming up for you in just a few moments. Comcast Sportsnet has you covered with the NHL tonight. Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Capitals hockey tonight being brought to you by Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. By Force 3, recognizing for a decade that networks are people. By Nextel, how business gets done. Call 1-800-NEXTLP. By Metro, which opens doors to the MCI Center and sports events all over the Washington area. By Verizon, take care of your Verizon bills the quick and easy way at thenewverizon.com. And by Volvo and your local Volvo retailers. Dinas Zubris has pocketed a slew of points in the last 3 weeks, some more colorful than others. This little pool cue shot gave the Caps life against the Isles last weekend. Time to rack them and break them again in a moment.
Pontiac Buick GMC in Gaithersburg is Maryland's #1 Pontiac Buick GMC dealer. Now get 0.0% APR financing or $3,002 cash back on select models. Your best deal is at King Pontiac Buick GMC in Gaithersburg, Maryland.
This Tuesday on DVD and video, you're home, but you're not alone. 13 Ghosts. Buy it this Tuesday on DVD and video.
At the big screen store, let's do the room. At the big screen store, let's do the room. At the big screen store, let's do the room.
Last week on Comcast Sportsnet, if you just got the scores, you didn't get the whole picture.
You can't have the fear of failure. Not every big scorer wants to take those shots, and Juan has never backed away from a shot in that situation. We needed something to happen big, and Juan just did what he did all year.
It's in the books forever, man. Our senior class was the first one to lead Maryland to a national title. Coach Williams deserved it. He's been a great coach at Maryland.
A first ever national championship.
Comcast Sportsnet, the best place to go before, during, and after the game. BWI Sports Night, weeknights at 6:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Ready to go on a Saturday night from the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. Joe Bennannatti, Craig Laughlin with you for Comcast Sportsnet coverage of the Washington Capitals. Craig Laughlin, set up those netminders.
One guy's got 30 wins, and that's the Capitals netminder who gets the nod, Ole Kolzig. 30, 28, and 8, 17 wins versus the Islanders. Most versus any team that he's played against. And in Chris Osgood, he's got 29 wins, looking to record his 5th 30-win season, 29, 24, and 6. 909 save percentage, and recently he picked up win number 250, April 1st.
The on-ice officials tonight working this one. The referees will be Dean Warren and Dave Jackson. The linesman, John Moran and Ray Scampaniello. Washington Caps and the New York Islanders, they have seen each other already 3 times this season. And Craig, why don't we break down our Coleman keys to the game tonight?
Well, for the Washington Capitals, they've got to batten down the hatches, and what that means is this is a 20th sellout of the season for the Islanders. They're going to be raucous, they're going to be rolling, and the Caps have to weather the storm. Outwill their skill. They've got to dominate Yashin and company. Their first 2 lines, they've got to shut them down and be aware every time they're on the ice. For the Islanders, they've got to chill out. They can't get too high. They've got to have a medium mindset to make sure they play at their best and power up the points. Guys like Aucoin, a guy that we didn't see last game when these clubs met, has to be a factor. He can bring it from the point, which often can create flurry in front of goals.
New York Islanders and their head coach Peter Laviolette on the verge of clinching a playoff appearance as you look at Laviolette's first season numbers. Fans here reacting to a pregame ceremony. Craig, I know you had a chance to talk with Pat LaFontaine on the way to the rink. What's he saying about the feeling around these parts nowadays?
I think it's real positive. I mean, they went through such a drought, and all the greats were back. There's some of the guys leaving the ice like right now. Gillies and company, Billy Smith, Pat LaFontaine. I even saw Glenn Anderson on the ice during a couple of their replays. So, I mean, this was a big day for the Islanders. They've got stuff happening in the parking lot. This is a festival-type atmosphere here tonight. They want to get to the postseason. It's been too long for them not to be in the playoffs.
Those glorious names in the rafters, the heydays for the New York Islanders in the early 80s with back-to-back-to-back-to-back Stanley Cup championships.
And by the way, he even said, Locker, when can we get you to play? That was the other thing he talked about.
Okay, fine. And what was your price? I'm curious to hear.
I wanted you to be involved.
I'm curious to hear how much it would have costed. We're underway tonight. Washington Capitals in dire need of points as they try to work into the 8th position in the Eastern Conference. Dahlin with a long drive on Osgood as he was able to fight that one away. Fortin will tumble it into the Islander defensive zone, and Ray Scampaniello, the veteran linesman, spots the game's first offside.
Excellent shift first off for the Washington Capitals, Ron Wilson. He likes to start the tempo line, and that includes Dahlin and Konowalchuk, and between him, Dmitry Kristich. And right off the get-go, 29 seconds in, another line change. But they got a good shot away from Osgood. Alfie Dahlin breaking down the wing, and Osgood looked a little shaky. I mean, get a couple of shots early against this guy. You never know what's going to happen. Any shot at this stage of the season is a good shot.
Osgood's career mark against Washington is good, except for the goals against average, which is well above 3. He's only lost 3 of 10 decisions, including that one a week ago. Jaromir Jagr trying to burrow out of the corner. Roman Hamrlik would not allow him to do it. Hamrlik using the glass to clear back. Zettler stalling the Islander advance. Simon tapping it ahead. Jagr for Zubris. Little give and go to the front. Zubris on a sharp angle, and a sprawling Osgood has that trapped in his equipment.
Yeah, it's right inside his pad as he tried to saucer it out. The reach of Jaromir Jagr springs Dainius Zubris. Pats all around for the way the Caps have started. Jaromir Jagr has been snake bit, but the goals are going to come for him. Here's the play. There's the defenseman falling down, and Jagr to Zubris, and he's looking back, I think, trying to chip it to the third guy. Doesn't get there, gets caught in that left pad of Chris Osgood. One more look. There it is. Roman Hamrlik takes a tumble, and there's that quick developing 2-on-1 that turned to a 3-on-2. Good stop by Osgood.
Jagr was very good last weekend. Dainius Zubris' performance against New York was special. He was all over the ice, creating offensive opportunities, and he will draw prime defensive assignments tonight from the aisles. Offensive zone for Washington. Bondra rips one. It was pawed at there by Osgood, who's checking the webbing of his catching glove. We move past 1 minute played in the first period of a scoreless hockey game. Glenn Metropolitan, along with Andrei Nikolitin and Peter Bondra. A line shuffle for head coach Ron Wilson. Back behind the cage for Washington. Looking to clear it, Sylvain Cote. Cherkowski taps, Isbister moves. Brad Isbister swivels one right to the front. And from the blue paint, it'll be Kolzig to tap it from harm. Kenny Janssen kept it alive for New York. Cherkowski closing, firing, and it's snatched out of the air by the big netminder.
Good stop by Yoli Kolzig. Like to see that puck early on. Kolzig as has Osgood. Good save. Cherkowski's a sniper. When he gets the puck, he's looking for one thing, and that's to shoot the puck. Janssen keeps it in on the half wall, and here comes Cherkowski, and there's that snapshot. He had 3 goals in his last 27 games, one against the Caps, but here it is once again. Cherkowski, he's looking to do nothing more than shoot the puck, but notice the traffic did not develop in front on the season. Cherkowski's one of their 20-goal guys. He has 21.
The goal-scoring hero for the Islanders, the first meeting in here, the tail end of November, and it was Cherkowski's hat trick, including the game-tying tally, that pushed Washington to a 5-5 draw with New York.
Did he score one of those from in front of the net?
No, actually, I think he scored 3 goals, Craig, that night, and only took 1 shot. By his own admission. Blake scooting back in. Blake's wrister deflected by J.F. Fortin. Brendan Witt for Washington will play the boards. Claude the point towards the cage. Fortin ahead for Benoit Hogue and back out to neutral. Past the 2-minute mark, no score for Washington and New York. Van Imp channels it along for Blake. Blake clears deep into the Washington territory, but not before the Islanders are spotted offside.
Now, a good start for the Caps, and this Islander team with Webb and company, they like to take the body. Benoit Hogue, I think their line's going to get a lot more ice time here tonight. They thought they did a good job energy-wise for their club, playing alongside Forbesy out there who gets some ice time. They did a nice job generating some positive minutes for Wilson, especially late periods in last night's game.
Benoit Hogue, the former New York Islander, 3-time 30-goal getter, who still resides on Long Island in the offseason. Islanders control the draw. Hamrlik stumbled. Jaromir Jagr has it in his clutches, and he'll play for Dainius Zubris. Zubris taps it for Simon on the move. Sergei Gonchar activating from defense. Simon fires. Osgood makes the stick save. Sprawls out to cover, but didn't reel it in. Eric Cairns back in the lineup for New York. He was suspended the last time these two teams met. Don Bates maneuvers into the offensive zone. Flings it wide of Kolzig's gloved hand. Hamrlik tapping to the corner. Parrish, the 30-goal getter for Yashin. Another 30-goal marksman. Bates working to the deep slot. Wrister on the way off the shin pads of Zubris. And the ricochet will force New York back to center. Jagr on the move with Simon. Stood up there by Hamrlik. Bates trying to fight away Jaromir Jagr. To some degree, that's a gnat against a horse.
And there you see that one line change that you were talking about early on in this telecast. What Wilson has done is simply shift Metropolitan and Chris Simon. Chris Simon now out there with Jagr, a little size down low, and Metropolitan moves alongside Peter Bondra.
Oleg Kavasha working deeper into the Islanders' defensive end. Kristich with a good forecheck along with Ulf Dahlin. Dahlin, one of the Caps' top goal producers in first periods this season, looking for another. Steps from behind the cage, spins it backhand to the goal mouth. Cote winds, thought about the slapper, it was deflected wide. Scat Pritchard on it for New York. His outlet doesn't get the Islanders clear just yet. Kavasha will. Nolan Yonkwin getting his first look at the Nassau Coliseum. Young rookie. In black for Washington, wearing number 40. Dahlin, Konowalchuk, Kristich remain out there. Van Imp giving Konowalchuk a ride to the end boards. Just past the 4-minute mark. No score in this one. Washington out shooting New York. 3-1 to this point. Korolev hovering over a fallen Konowalchuk. Dahlin with one hand on the stick. Turns the cage. Trying to use it for some leverage. Works to his backhand. And it's still holding him. No penalty call from the referee, Warren. Evgeny Korolev scoops it off the glass, and Cherkasky with a gloved hand will just bat it back to center. Quick regroup. Yuckman from long range. Routine stop for Osgood. Osgood failed to clear it. Bondra pouncing on it. Bondra to the front. Just got it away from Dmitry Kristich. Cherkasky sending back Isbister 2-on-2. Isbister closing right to the goal mouth and right through the crease.
And noticed how he used his size and speed to wiggle his way around Yachman. When he got a step, he used that to his advantage.
Neat move by Metropolitan. Poke checked at the last instant by Osgood. Great tempo to this one just past the 5-minute mark. Adrian Aucoin keeping an eye on Metropolitan. And a glove and a shoulder. Nikolitin working to the front. Pekka on the takeaway. Nikolitin got back. Taps it for Bondra. Stood up there by Kenny Janssen. Cherkasky's on the move. Marius Cherkasky, fancy stick handling. Drags it to the slot. Pekka had no angle. Michael Pekka floats it to the front. J.F. Fortin was trolling there. And Washington will be able to move back through center.
Wow, what a different pace than we saw last night. This is a little bit of everything. Great battles at both ends of the ice. Both teams skating and battling and trying to win the little wars. Great tempo. Let's hope this continues.
Ron Wilson tipped us off to this earlier on tonight on Comcast Sportsnet on Sportsnet. He said the Islanders do some things differently defensively than the Senators, and that might be able to be opened up.
Well, the last time this New York Islander team played, if you remember, against Boston, they went to a 2-3. They actually sat back in back-to-back games. Boston Bruins pounded them with shots, but were unable to get the victory. Ron Wilson's club, though, had great opportunities early on at both ends. Both teams really firing. Here's a look at the nice chance. Kristich up the wing, and here comes Metro. Nifty move. And there's Aucoin. More known for his wicked shot than his defensive work, but he's been solid at both ends of the ice and makes a good play and a good stop by Osgood as Metropolitan's wiped out.
Adrian Aucoin practically gets the nod from Peter Laviolette every other shift. He's very close to 30 minutes per game along the New York Islander blue line.
I think he's played a couple of games over 40, most in the last 3 seasons in the NHL.
Wow. Jason Blake roaring back through center. Pickpocketed there by Joe Sacco, a former New York Islander. Given away to Sergei Gonchar, gliding in. Gonchar didn't finesse around Korolev. Benoit Hogue lassoed there by Blake. Hogue sprints to the loose rebound. Finds a man, that's Forbes with a quick wrister that sings wide. Behind the cage, Sacco again, taps it for Hogue. Van Imp watching Sacco closely, even in full strength, 5 aside they go. Washington with 5 of the game's first 6 shots. A struggle along the dasher board. Sacco trying to burrow his way free. Webb will chop it ahead. Blake's on the move with good speed. Blake fires, blocked by Gonchar. Blake to his own rebound. Blake, Claude Lapointe, Steve Webb out there in white for the New York Islanders. 0-0. 7 minutes gone by in the first period. Sacco at the tail end of his shift, looking to give it up. He'll send it in. Ron Wilson will get 5 fresh folks out there. Cairns will wait to begin the breakout. He'll do it with Sean Bates. Alexei Yashin motoring back. Plays the hard around. Kolzig with the traffic instructions for Witt. Ooh, a crunching hit there on Parrott. Dmitry Kristich ladles it out. Simon taps for Jágr. Jágr looking to Brendan Witt, and Witt just in ahead of the play. It's going to be offside against Washington. 6 minutes and 33 seconds gone by. No score in New York.
When the puck drops, feel the intensity. Washington, Chicago, MCI Center. Tuesday, April 9th. 7 p.m. tickets. Call 202-432-SEAT.
Hey, it's Kevin Cohen from Jim Coleman Toyota. I know I've got a big head, but let's focus. Pop quiz. Why are we the fastest growing Toyota dealership in the area? Simple, great value, no hassle deals. We've got the best price guarantee, 2-year, 24-hour roadside assistance, and your Platinum Plus membership gets you discounts all over town. Ouch! That's better. 2-year, 24-hour roadside assistance and Platinum Plus membership. Nobody beats a Jim Coleman deal.
Dennis, got a great deal for you. You sitting down? A potato chip ad, $1 million.
Not interested.
Dennis, I just talked to the chip people, and because you're you, they say $2 million.
What did I just say, Sam?
No, I know, right, sorry. I got them up to $2.5 million. There's no eating of the chips. You look at them.
For the last time, I don't do ads, all right?
No, you shouldn't.
And that's final.
That I know. You're right.
Done.
Exactly. I'll tell them, maybe.
Capital Cadillac is Washington's #1 Cadillac dealership. They provide excellent customer service and satisfaction. All new at Capital Cadillac, the Cadillac CTS. Come in to see and drive the new CTS soon.
And Dmitry Kristich getting some double shifting with this line, now playing with Simon and Yager, because Dinah Zuber's off to the dressing room for equipment repair with Dougie Shear. So let's see if he can return sooner rather than later. Probably a skate problem, maybe an edge. So Dima gets some extra opportunity playing on the top line.
Dmitry Kristich, 12th year pro, closing in on a milestone. He needs 2 points for 300 as a Washington Capital. Kristich, Yager, Simon, as my partner pointed out. Gonchar working in back with Rob Zettler. Zettler, who's played the last dozen games. Settling influence along the Washington back line. Sends it all the way, and Hammerlich will touch up an icing call against the Caps.
Look at that bench there. The bench a lot different than we last saw them. And up front, Bates didn't play against the Caps either. Bates is a spark plug out there. He's a guy that can really add a new dimension to this #1 line. He's been a great find as a free agent, picked up over the offseason. He has 17 goals and 50 points. And his power play, you see his numbers, 11 of those 50 points have come with the extra man. So he's a versatility type forward. That's been a nice find for Mike Milbury.
Start subtracting from 17. 4 shorties, 1 power play. That means he has a dozen at even strength. Quite helpful. Bates leaving it for Yashin. Yashin swinging a miss. Gonchar moves it for Jaromir Jagr. On the flank with speed, it's Simon. A slap shot that was muffled by the long reach of Eric Cairns. Hammerlich stymied there by Simon. Cairns whiffed on a clearing opportunity. Jaromir Jagr to the front there. Ooh, Simon's quick release off the glass. Jagr lurking behind the goal. To Kristich in front. Backhand relay for Zettler. Zettler keeps it moving. Jagr operating out of the corner. To the goal mouth. Trying to find Gonchar. Gonchar will get it at long last. Sergei waiting. Cross-rink Jagr. Tap for Zettler on the way. Blocked by Hammerlich. Parrish to it to clear. And that one went into the Islander players bench. That's why we get the whistle.
There's a look at the big fella, Jaromir Jagr, last night. Close to 27 minutes. I don't think it's going to change tonight. Jaromir Jagr has been playing terrific hockey, and it's just a matter of time. You know, the frustration hasn't set in because he's playing so well, and the coaching staff is 100% behind this guy. He made a couple of adjustments last night on the bench saying, hey, let's try Peter Bondra on the point in the overtime. Let's do this. Let's try this. He really wants to get to that postseason. And they're looking at this game as being the crucial game of the next upcoming ones. They think they have to win this one because of Carolina upcoming tomorrow, and they'll have 2 games in hands.
Carolina Hurricanes idle. Washington next in action with the Chicago Blackhawks at home Tuesday. They'll be in Buffalo and home with the Devils to close the regular season as the Islanders are again whistled for icing. The 154th time the Washington Capitals have squared off against the New York Islanders. Ron Wilson has enjoyed tremendous success against New York during his time behind the Caps bench.
And in the Lifetime Series, the Capitals now ahead of the New York Islanders in wins.
Hard to imagine, because at the beginning of the all-time series, wasn't it Washington that went winless in 19?
Very similar to their start against the Buffalo Sabres.
Evgeny Korolev for the Isles. Through center with Kavasha. Kip Miller in ahead of the play, and this is offside. A fits and starts last few moments.
Well, we've talked about a lot of players getting ice time. Well, what about JF 410? You look around the shifts per game around the NHL and check out these numbers. Turnquist, Pothier from Atlanta, 410. 24.5 shifts for Bada, and Klesla from Columbus with a minimum of 25 games played. And when you look at number of minutes per game, he's fourth. The 3 Atlanta young guys are ahead of him, but he's the top guy other than the guys in Atlanta.
Earlier in the week, Jason Lockenfora wrote an article about 410 correcting his eating habits. And true to form, I offered him a Milky Way today, and he didn't take it. Peter Bondra hit up high. As you see Bondra going slowly to the players' bench. Brendan Witt back to touch up. Icing again against New York. Bondra looking to get a penalty from the officials here.
Looking to see if he's lost a chiclet. Here it is right off the face-off. Here's Cherkowski getting around him. Peter Bondra off to the races, and in comes the defenseman's stick right there, a Coin, who caught him up high when he was trying to hold him away and fend for himself. A Coin got the stick right in the chiclets, and that's why Bondra at the bench looking for some repairs.
Bondra adjusting those teeth. Can you do that? Apparently Peter's going to try.
If it's not his real one, you could.
Okay, I understand. 6-1. Washington out shooting the Islanders in the first 9 minutes and change of this hockey game.
I just need some glue, that's all.
Quick epoxy. Yeah. Okay. Get Smitty on that. Michael Pekka against Andrei Nikolitin on the draw. Nikolitin trying to drag it back for Bondra. All of that is moot as Pekka wins the war in the dock. Bondra surveys, slings it into the Islander defensive territory. Janssen didn't get it out just yet. Pekka will. 3-on-3, no numbers advantage. It's Isbister down the flank. Isbister skids to a stop. Ortan bear hugs him along the boards. Metropolitan will play away. Nikolitin and Metropolitan working give and go. Nikolitin hooked up high. Follow-up chance. A diving Osgood got back. But Washington is going to a power play here.
Now, good breakup up the ice. A good opportunity. Trying to punch the puck out wide and then drive the net. And it's a hook from behind. The Caps go to the first power play with 10 minutes left here. Here's a little saucer. Here comes Nico. There's the hook from behind and just about in front and just misses. And Cherkowski's going to head off for the hooking call. There it is on the back check there at 10-minute mark, denying that opportunity to Nikolitin.
Andrei Nikolitin checking the scoreboard out exactly halfway through this first period, are we? As Mariusz Cherkowski sits. Washington's power play has been very good against the Islanders in the first 3 meetings. Looking to get on the board first right here. Zubris, Metropolitan Yager, Gonchar, and Bondra. The 5-man group in the black sweaters.
And this is where they need a power play goal. You talk about their power play doing fine against the Islanders, but they've got a power play goal in just 5 of the last 13 games. That could be also a factor in not getting a whole lot of power plays, but this is crunch time. They need to connect here tonight.
Bondra leads the NHL in power play markers. He worked it to the corner, but there he was worked over by Lapointe and a Coin, and the Islanders will tell Washington, go fetch. Gonchar plays the wing, a Coin cheating down. Gonchar pinned deeper by his opposite number 55, Jason Blake. Zubris ahead to Yager. Confidently through center, Gonchar tried to play it blindly on the wing for Metropolitan. A Coin was right in the way. Capitals on the move. Yager cut off by Kenny Janssen. Janssen will spread the ice surface and drive it all the way down the river.
Kenny Janssen looking like Benny Potvin out there, the way he stole that biscuit and roamed in his own zone. A good defensive play, utilizing his reach and his quality skating.
Benny Potvin, 3-time Norris Trophy winner as a member of the New York Islanders. Kristich picking up Yager, rink wide for Bondra, just skipped over his blade. 2-on-0 in front. Kristich scores!
You gotta love that. Rarely seen in the game of hockey, a 2-on-0 in front. big-time breakdown by the Islanders, who are a pressure penalty-killing team. And the Capitals strike first. Dmitry Kristich getting some extra ice time out here. On with Zubris and Jágr. Here's the play at the neutral zone. Notice the 4 Islanders starting up ice, but they forgot the puck. And here comes Jágr and company. Starts in the neutral with Kristich to Jágr. Saucer pass wide. Watch Peter Bondra, spinorama. Notice a coin and 2 forwards and a defense right there. And then a 2-on-0 in front of Osgood. Not good enough. And no one would have been good enough on a 2-on-0 isolation of Jaromir Jágr, getting a nice outburst, setting up Dima.
So the Caps' top 2 goal getters provide the assists on the Kristich marker at 11-10. Dmitry Kristich has wonderful numbers in his career against Chris Osgood, and that tapping only adds to them.
You love that balance. You know, we've looked at that the last several games with the Capitals, looking at where the goals are coming from. Well, it's great to see Dima strike here first on the island in this critical matchup here tonight. Here's the play down low. Jágr, Kristich, and he makes no mistake. Top shelf, right above the catching glove. He had to put it there, and he pays for the defensive breakdown of the Islanders.
8.5 to go in this first period. Washington, a 1-0 leader. We'll continue right after this.
Round-the-clock claim service, in case this happens in a car. Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. At Geico, we get the ball rolling on your claim quickly. Even in the middle of the night. Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I've been looking so long for what I want. She twisted me up and then she turned me down.
The Sea Coupe with panorama glass roof. Use it how you see fit. Value unlike any other.
Make me feel good.
Say hello to the folks at Greavy's tonight, enjoying Caps on Tap. They can head out to Crystal City Sports Pub on the 12th of April. Watch the Caps face off against Buffalo. Enjoy the night, everyone back home. Washington off to an enjoyable start on Long Island. A 1-0 advantage, a power play goal from Dmitry Kristich. His 9th of the season. Jágr and Bondra on the help-outs. So after last night's 0-0 skirmish with the Senators, an early lead for Washington. Kvasha without his helmet. Works the cycle to Kip Miller. Gets it back and rockets one right through.
Well, this whole play starts with the hit on Kvasha down in the corner that he laid on JF 410. 5 goals in the last 7, now 6 in the last 8. Then the cycle ensues, and the lidless Kvasha pounds it in the high slot, and there it is right along the ice. Ole Kolzig looking around because he ain't seeing this, baby. Nice setup. There's the slap shot, and notice how the big fella Kvasha opens up there. A lot of guys don't open up, and you don't get a scoring chance. He's a right shot. He opened up to the middle, which allowed the passer to see his stick, and he saw it perfectly, which allowed him to lay out that one-timer for a pounding slap shot.
Number 12 gets his 12th goal on the campaign. That ties a single-season best for Kvasha. Washington had the lead for 39 seconds. Hogue with a blast that catches the glass. Rebound fielded by Blake. Threw it right back for Benoit Hogue, using the cage to pass it to Colin Forbes. Forbes clothesline there back behind Osgood's crease. Blake racing down the alleyway. Hogue puts him practically into the Caps players bench. Yonkman fighting for it back behind the cage. Claude Lapointe took a shoulder from Joe Sacco. 1-1 now with 7:20 to go in this first period. So Van Cote looking for help on a vacant wing. Cairns will step up. Plays it too strong for Bates. John Sharp jamming it To the backside of Jaromir Jagr, turnover. Parrish with Yashin, 2-on-2. Yashin's wrister blocked by Zettler. Alexei Yashin, his goal-scoring totals in the first period this year, #1 in the league. Yashin out wide for Cairns, steps in and fires and scores!
After the first 8 minutes where the Capitals totally dominated, they've got some momentum here on the island. Back-to-back goals. This one, Cairns sneaking in. One of the keys to the games that I talked about was making sure they power up the point shots. Well, here's a point shot, again low, and again through the wickets of Ole Kolzig. He gets a chunk, but not enough. He doesn't look screened on that play, and you'll see him slap his stick down there as Eric Cairns breaks a 47-game drought with his goal here, giving the Islanders the 2-1 lead.
So Kavasha, 39 seconds after Kristich gave Washington the advantage. And that's backed up by Cairns' marker at 13:07. Yashin on the primary assist. Just like that, New York has the lead with 6.5 to go in the first period. And they're loving it at the Coliseum. Isbister moves it away. Cherkowski bearing down on Wick. Turns it to the opposite corner for Isbister. Wrapped up immediately by Fortin. Pekka trying to drive towards the crease. That's answered by Metropolitan. Moved away by Bonner, and he was clotheslined by Pekka along the boards. Peter Bondra bracing himself for the hit from McCoy. Gonchar, a one-handed lunge for Nikolitin. Metropolitan dealing with Pekka, and Pekka will be able to clear back to the Washington line. Isbister puts some pressure on Zettler. 7-3, Washington leads in shots. But the Islanders have cashed in on 2/3 of their volleys against Kolzig. Bondra, 1-on-4. Osgood to the splits to deny. Dahlin playing in his 900th NHL game tonight. Watching as the Islanders get up and go. Scatchard moving on the wing. Dave Scatchard fires. Kolzig makes a stop. Rebound. He got the pad on that one too from Kip Miller. Ole Kolzig settling down as Cairns drives back. Zettler lobbing it ahead. Hammerlick got there before Dahlin could break. Cairns mauled by Konowalchuk. Giveaway. Dahlin crunched there by Scatchard. Just more than 5 minutes remaining in this first period. A wild atmosphere in New York as the Islanders are closing in on a playoff appearance for the first time in 7 seasons. Dahlin will send it back behind Osgood's goal. He'll bump it for Korolev. Yevgeny Korolev ahead for Webb. Marked there by Ford. Quick developing 2-on-2. Ford to the backhand into the slot. He was looking for Sacco, and he was stopped there by Van Imp. Kavasha, who got the scoring started for the Islanders on the dump-in. Kolzig helping his own cause. Heaves it high on the glass. Claude Lapointe turning the Caps back. Sylvain Cote to Nolan Yonkman. Yonkman's outlet too hot to handle for Sacco. Van Imp's going to get there ahead of a hard-charging Hogue. Van Imp using the lip of the boards around for Blake. Cut off by Witt. Forbes will rewind with Fortin's assist. Long head man, Sacco in ahead, offside. 4:13 to go in period 2, and just like that, Washington finds itself behind.
Trucks, Toyota has it all. Award-winning compact and full-size trucks, tough and dependable, including one of the most affordable trucks sold in America. Get the feeling, Toyota.
When you think of Italy, you think of things like cars that think they can fly. The latest fashions. You girls appreciate great taste. Want to go to Subway? Italy. That's where Subway came up with the idea for the new roasted garlic on Italian. Come on.
Our new roasted garlic on Italian is delicious. We start with classic Italian bread, sprinkle roasted garlic, and select spices on top, and bake it all together. It's one of Subway's 2 new gourmet breads.
Maybe in your next lifetime, guys.
Subway, eat fresh!
Experience the internet without the worldwide wait with Comcast high-speed internet. Download faster than dial-up or DSL for as little as $39.95 a month. Enjoy an always-on connection, no dial-ups or busy signals. And with Comcast, there's no need to pay extra for a second phone line or another internet service provider. Order Comcast high-speed internet today and receive your first month free. 30 days of high-speed internet free without the hassles and extra costs of dial-up service. Call Comcast today.
Mile 1 Tisher Subaru, now Mile 1 Herb Gordon Subaru. They moved right next door to the Mile 1 Herb Gordon Dodge location. Stop by for a test drive soon. Mile 1 Herb Gordon Dodge and Subaru, located in the Montgomery Auto Park in Silver Spring.
Well, this Islander team second best in first period goals in the NHL. Only Vancouver has more with 81. Now the Islanders with 76. The first 10 minutes all Caps because the Isles went 10-03 without a shot prior to that Kavasha goal. And now they've got some momentum with back-to-back goals from Kavasha and Cairns.
It was a power play strike from Kristich, and now a long send out. Simon's in solo. Simon trying to go high, and he misfired. Back come the Isles. It's Bates. Little drop pass for Yashin. Yashin hooks off. Bates on the tap to Parrish. Muzzled there by Simon. Jaromir Jagr. It was Yashin collecting Jagr along the boards. Islanders will regroup. Jagr will step back. Zubris ran into traffic there. Simon driving towards the crease. Lost it in transition. Bates, Parrish, and Yashin all in a tight triangle as Hammerlick will advance. Bates finds an open Parrish. Parrish pulls the trigger. Blocker save for Kolzig. 3:05 to go in this first period, and as Gonchar puts it off the rink, we tell you it's 2-1 New York.
Man, this game started out great for Jagr and company. They had a 1-0 lead, but then back-to-back goals here, starting with Kavasha's slap shot through the pads. There it is into the back of the net, his 12th. Then Eric Cairns coming in from the point, a one goal that Ole Kolzig would love to have back. Cairns breaks a long drought, and that's where we stand, 2-1.
Kolzig's save percentage numbers, the best in Washington Capitals history, but that save percentage, which has been climbing steadily in the last week, taking a beating early on tonight. Caps trailing New York by 1. Outer stages of period number 1. Washington in its last 10 trips here, unbeaten 9-0-1. Johnson coughed it up. Metropolitan looking to create. Cherkowski with other ideas. Brendan Witt held the line. Witt fires. Big rebound off of the blade of Osgood. Kicks send away for Isbister. Isbister cutting in. Tries to find Heckler. A bit too strong.
Yeah, great back check, though, by Brendan Witt, who was caught in the neutral zone. Got enough of Heckler to make sure he couldn't get a shot.
Bondra one-hands it for Fortan. Fortan to the front. Off of Metropolitan. Osgood actually got a piece of that. This game has been more open than I would have imagined. Plenty of room. Washington Capitals with good legs in this first period.
Oh, excellent legs, especially in back-to-back scenarios, but they know the importance of this, and they're getting energized. They played a solid period. They have the breakaway against Simon. There's been some big-time breakdowns from the Islanders. The Caps simply have not cashed in.
Sylvain Cote taps it on the wing. Kristich finding an open Dahlin. Dahlin pivoting away from Korolev. Korolev put the hook in. And the trail official stopping play. The net knocked from its moorings.
And just off its moorings there. The left post in front of Osgood. There's Peter Laviolette. And there he is, a guy that you had used to talk to, and he played when you were doing some play-by-play first period goals. I just mentioned those numbers there. Vancouver, the highest scoring team in the first period.
I do know Peter Laviolette quite well from days with the American Hockey League's Providence Bruins.
Solid defender, huh?
I know him as a player and as a coach. He went on to win a Calder Cup in the AHL in Providence. Yeah, good man. Very solid, very heady defenseman. You always knew that he would wind up being good coaching material. He's done it faster than we all thought, though.
He has some good assistants that help him. And LaPerriere, one of the best defensemen ever to play in the National Hockey League, and then Kelly Miller, the former Washington Capital that was so great, especially in defensive assignments.
Kelly Miller's brother Kip out there right now wearing 11 in white. Kip Miller, Dave Scatcherd, and Oleg Kvasha on ice. Just over a minute to go in the first frame. Kristich maneuvering with Zettler, finding Gonchar. Osgood challenged that beautifully to make the pad save.
That was an excellent save. He read it well and got out there and made that big stop at the right pad. Excellent job.
Yashin hoping to convert. Slings that one wide. Kip Miller, rink wide for Janssen. Behind the goal, Yashin. Arc there. Spins on Gonchar. Ran into the double team. Named Dinas Zubris. Zubris on the takeaway. Moves Washington back through center. 40 seconds to go in the period. Zubris trying to sneak his way around Janssen. Simon muddying up the water. Yager hooks off. Harassed there by Bates. Parrish trying to clear. Witt stood tall, but now the Caps will have to give ground as Bates continues to work over Jaromir Yager. 23 seconds in the period. Yashin makes the script. Brendan Witt got it right back. Bumps it along for Yager, closing in 3-on-1 to the goal mouth, and Witt shanked it wide. 10 seconds left in the first. Yashin running low on energy. Moves back in, plays the wing, got away from Bates. Fortan will tap it, and you'll hear the horn sound. Wow. Ending very, very eventful 20 minutes.
But fans, don't fret. The Caps have led after one and only 2 of the last 15 games. This is a team that's going to build on their first period, chance after chance. This second and third period, they're going to have to bury their chances.
They've come to win 9 of those games, if I'm not mistaken. Our first intermission on Comcast Sportsnet will roll your way. We will have an interview guest. We'll look at highlights and stats. But first, let's go back to Bethesda and join Carol Maloney at Comcast Sportsnet.
Thanks, Joe B. Good evening and welcome everyone to the Comcast Sportsnet studios for this intermission report. We begin with the game you are watching, the pressure cooker that is the Washington Capitals' final run of the season. As Ole Kolig says, there's even more pressure on the Caps right now than during the postseason because in the best-of-7 playoffs, teams can afford to lose a game. But right now, there is no room for error. Coming into tonight, the Caps trail the Montreal Canadiens by a point for the final playoff spot in the East. Jaromir Jagr comes into tonight's game looking for his first goal in 7 games. Midway through the period, Caps in power play. They send it up to Jagr, 2-on-1. Yags to Dmitry Kristich, and he beats Chris Osgood. Caps go up 1-0. Later in the period, now tied at 1, Islanders attacking, pass it out to Eric Karens. Slapper beats Ole Kolzig, and just like that, it's 2-1 Islanders. Again, as you've been watching, it's the Caps trailing the Isle 2-1. Now, another game we're watching. The Caps hope the Columbus Blue Jackets taking care of business against Montreal Canadiens tonight as they're fighting for that last playoff spot. First period action, Blue Jackets on the attack. Espen Knudsen throws it in front of the net, but Grant Marshall is denied by Jose Theodore. Later in the first, Gino Chick with the clear path to the net, no good. Mark Denis would wrap it up, and at the end of 1, it's still scoreless at intermission. Baseball now, and in case you're shopping, Orioles owner Peter Angelos wants you to know that no, the O's are not for sale. Angelos is trying to dispel rumors of a New York buyer coming forward recently interested in purchasing the Birds. Angelos denies this, stating, quote, "There isn't such a buyer." According to the Baltimore Sun, a number of potential buyers are making inquiries about the team's availability. Today at Oriole Park, Terp fans are still shouting about their banner a year. The O's trying to obtain the same level of status. This will help Bob 3 no-score. Jay Gibbons jacking it deep to right. Power hitter has his first home run of the year. Birds up 1-0. Jump ahead of the 8th inning. Game tied at 1. 2 men on for Nomar Garcia-Parra. Takes Scott Erickson deep to left. Melvin Moore has it tracked. He leaps up, catches it in midair, and then loses it on the way down. Bummer. 3-run shot for Garcia-Parra. 4-1 Boston. Bo Sox go on to win it 4-2.
Scotty pitched a great game, deserved to win. We're not swinging the basketball enough to win right now, and pitchers are doing our job. The fault falls on the offense when it's not scoring runs.
We've just got to be patient, work our way through this thing. It's we're going to be okay. The worst thing we can do is start trying to do things differently or going outside of what it is that we can do.
Hargrove's club will try to avoid the series sweep tomorrow afternoon. Game 3 between the O's and Red Sox right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Calvin Maduro gets the call for the Birds opposite Pedro Martinez for the Red Sox. First pitch at 1:30 in the p.m. That'll do it for the first intermission report. When we return during the second intermission, we'll have the update, the latest Redskins news, as well as the new front runners trying to bring baseball to D.C. Until then, Joe Bennannatti, Craig Laughlin will continue with the festivities from Uniondale, New York, where the Caps are trailing the Isle 2-1. Enjoy the second period.
I've been looking so long for what I want. She twisted me up and then she turned me down.
The C Coupe with panorama glass roof. Use it how you see fit. Value unlike any other.
Make me feel good.
Wow, your office looks great. Where'd you get it all?
This place Joe told me about, PVI Office Furniture.
You must have spent a fortune.
Actually, I came in under budget.
I don't believe you.
You want to see the receipt?
That's okay. It just looks great.
With PVI, it was real easy. They've got the best selection for any budget.
Why haven't I heard of them?
They're Washington's best-kept secret.
Oh, so where are they?
PVI's got showrooms in Rockville and Frederick.
Hey, buddy, we gotta talk. There's something big going on.
Really big.
Big like his head. You get a brand new motorcycle and pay nothing until January. Add it up, my friend. Zero, right? Yeah, it's zero. Any Kawasaki ride. You gotta get down there because this stuff doesn't happen every day. Seize the opportunity,
Seize
sport.
it.
Grab the bull by the horns. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. A what?
See your Kawasaki dealer, Cycles USA, on the corner of Georgia and Connecticut Avenue in Aspen Hill, Maryland.
I need kumquats. I love kumquats.
I don't know what kumquats look like. They got some great looking tomatoes. Do we need tomatoes?
No, I just got tomatoes.
They got kiwis. They got some red things here.
Hey, aren't you that guy?
No, sorry, I'm not him. What about bananas?
Come on, I know
yeah,
you.
I get that all the time. I'm sorry.
You're on television.
Well,
In commercials.
hey, pal, I don't do commercials.
I'm sorry.
That's what you say, hon. There's 5 bananas too many to get brown, you know.
Welcome back to Caps Hockey here on Comcast Sportsnet. The Capitals traveling to Long Island, and after one, it's 2-1 Islanders. Hello, everyone. I'm Craig Laughlin, joined downstairs by Joe Sacco. Joe, last night it was trap, trap, and trap. What was the difference in this first period?
Well, I think we're trying to play the same way, but the Islanders play a little different style. They have a little more aggressive forecheck. I think they take a little more chances than Ottawa does. So, we got a quick lead there, but we gave up a couple. But I felt we had a lot of chances that period, and if we just keep playing the same way, we'll get our chances and hopefully keep them off the board.
Now they got some skilled defensemen, guys like Hammerlick and Aucoin. How tough is it for wingers to make sure they pick up those guys?
Well, you got to pick them up. Obviously, they're very active, and they like to jump up in the play. So Hammerlick, Kenny Johnson, Aucoin, guys like that, you have to be aware when you're on the ice against them and make sure they don't sneak by you.
Now, missed chances in that period. You guys had a ton of them. Is that a positive you guys are talking about, the breakdowns that the Islanders had?
I think so. I think that we know we're going to get our chances tonight. As long as we play well defensively and we shut them down for the rest of the game, we're going to get our opportunities. We know that. And with the guys we have up front, we're capable of scoring, so we're not worried about that.
Well, thanks for joining me.
Okay, Luck.
All right, Joe Sacco, after 20 minutes on the island, it was a tale of 2 periods. The Caps dominated the first 10, and then it was the Islanders the last 10. Stick around. Highlights and a whole lot of stuff right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
Ryan Miller owns a Hyundai Sonata.
We did a ton of research on the internet. Things that you normally would pay extra for came standard.
An exceptional list of standard features and room for 5.
Very stylish looking, very roomy on the inside.
The Sonata also comes with the Freedom of America's Best warranty.
We just felt for our money, the Sonata was the best value.
The Hyundai Sonata at just $15,999. It's a lot more car.
Freedom is calling, yeah.
Hyundai dealers, helping kids fight cancer.
Subway has a new bread made with that bee guy's honey and his oats.
Oh, whoa. That can't be good. There's one right there.
Hey, where you going? Subway's this way.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
Hey, Kelly, Mr. Honey and Mr. Oat.
Subway's new Honey Oat on wheat bread is delicious.
We start with tasty wheat bread, coat it with honey, sprinkle it with oats, and bake it all together. It's one of Subway's 2 new gourmet breads.
They make great bread together. We just got to become better friends with the bees.
Subway!
This Tuesday on DVD and video. You're home, but you're not alone. 13 Ghosts. Buy it this Tuesday on DVD and video.
It's big. It's bad. It's bold. It's the all-new Dodge Ram.
Now everyone will see our family crest.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Washington Capitals are unbeaten in their last 5 overall. They've won 7 of their last 9. They're looking to roll over the New York Islanders. The Islanders don't want any part of that, though. After 20 minutes, New York has a 2-1 lead. Joe Bennannatti, Craig Laughlin with you tonight on Comcast Sportsnet. And Craig, they talk about a playoff atmosphere, a playoff feel in this building these days. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah, they haven't felt it in 7 seasons, so this team and these fans are behind them in that first period. One of the keys for the Caps was batten down the hatches. I personally thought they took it to the Islanders early on. The Islanders were a little fragile coming out of the locker room. The Capitals had ample chances, and they should be leading after this first period. But a couple of timely goals by the Islanders got the momentum in their favor.
Washington has a power play around the midway mark of the first period and a chance to dishearten those Islander fans.
Well, the Islanders with 17 shorties on the year, they're looking to go shorthanded all the time and create goal-scoring chances. Well, here it costs them. Yager to Bonder, watch the 3 Islanders go outside the blue line. Uh-oh, 2-on-0. Yager to Kristich, top shelf.
9th of the year for Dimitri from Yager and Bondra.
And then Oleg Kabasha, big hit, knocks his lid off, but he opens up in the high slot. Wicked slap shot one-timer. And then Aaron Cairns right there sneaking in from the blue line, one that Kolzig would love to have back. Cairns, the D, snaps home his 2nd of the year. The Capitals had some quality chances there. Sergei Gonchar, kick-out save with the right pad. Chris Osgood, the Capitals ample opportunities. That shot, along with a breakaway by Chris Simon.
A lot more freedom with which to skate tonight for the Washington Capitals. They are 20 minutes complete, 2/3 of the way to still go in regulation. 2-1 New York, more to come.
Hi, everyone. I'm back in town to get you on your feet again.
Get up.
Okay, fellas.
So what do you think? Good offense or good defense? Find the answer and the Volvo S60 at your local Volvo retailer or at volvocars.com/questions.
The Washington Capitals are now offering a new playoff ticket promotion that will knock your socks off. It's called Pay As We Play and offers you no payments until a playoff game is played. What? That's right. No playoff payments until the Caps play. For more info, call 202-266-CAPS or visit www.washingtoncaps.com. America Online keyword, Washington Caps.
King Pontiac Buick GMC in Gaithersburg is Maryland's #1 Pontiac Buick GMC dealer. Now get 0.0% APR financing or $3,002 cash back on select models. Your best deal is at King Pontiac Buick GMC in Gaithersburg, Maryland.
When it comes to SUVs and vans, Toyota has all the right choices. In fact, your Toyota dealer has more SUV choices than anyone. From economical RAV4s to powerful 8-passenger Sequoias. Get the feeling, Toyota.
Tomorrow afternoon at 1:30, don't miss the O's as they wrap up their series with the Red Sox live from Camden Yards. It's Orioles baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, the best place to go before, during, and after the game.
Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Caps hockey tonight being brought to you by Jim Coleman's Montgomery Mall Toyota, where you're the boss and we make your deal. By your Washington area Subway restaurants, and by Comcast. Get over 250 channels on Comcast digital cable. Call 1-888-COMCAST today. The New York Islanders haven't beaten the Washington Capitals under this roof since December of '96. They'd like to believe they're on their way to doing that tonight. It's 2-1 after 1. Kavash's 12th, Cairns' 2nd, Kristich's 9th for Washington. Other numbers provided by Mercedes-Benz.
And here we'll take a look. Shots on goal favor the Caps 9-6. Scoring chances 6-5. A wide open affair in that first 20. Face-offs doubling up by the Islanders 14-7. Penalty minutes, just one penalty called. The Islanders had a deuce. Power plays the Capitals 1 for 1 on that Kristich tally. Power play shots 1. That's all they needed. Hits 13-5 for the Islanders in their favor. One more stat to be aware of. In that first, the Capitals with 8 missed shots. That may come back to haunt them. They've got to get that puck on the net when they get quality chances.
Need to bear down around the cage. And Ole Kolzig knows that he has to get on steadier ground for the remainder of this one. 2 goals slipping past him that went 5-hole. Out-of-town scoreboard. Montreal and Columbus after 20 minutes at Molson Center. The Habs and the Blue Jackets are scoreless. Montreal, of course, the team Washington trying to catch in the East.
Yeah, let's hope Denis plays great the rest of the game. It's Denis against Theodore, who's been red hot for the Montreal Canadiens.
Jose Theodore, his save percentage numbers have been outstanding for years, and he is by far Montreal's MVP candidate with his performance in the latter stages of the regular season. Washington Capitals fans hoping the mastery over the Islanders will continue. Looked good there for a moment in that first period with Kristich on the power play strike. But after that, Peter Laviolette and Mike Milbury's club with 2 in succession.
And Mike Milbury's taken some heat over his tenure here on the island, but this year the fans behind him, not only the fans, but the owners have given him some cash to work with. Salaries last year about $19 million, this year above $30 million, and because of that he was able to acquire some key guys, especially at the draft, guys like Yashin, Heka, and a guy that we can't forget about is a Coin, who's really stabilized their back line.
Milbury, of course, the former Islanders coach, now general manager. I can't say that he's mellowed with age, but that was as calm as I've seen him in a long time.
He's usually a pretty fiery fellow.
Very much so. Early on, 11 seconds into the second period, the Islanders called for icing. JF 410 has really settled in nicely alongside Brendan Witt.
Yeah, it's just a great combination. You know, you've got the guy that can move the puck extremely well in 410, and the way he exits the zone allows Witt to play his game. He's able to establish his defensive posture. He's able to bang and stand up on guys because he knows darn well in defensive pairings, you've got to read off each other, and you've got to make sure you're supporting, and that's what this pair has done.
Caps fans will recognize it too. Brendan Witt has been up on the play offensively more in the last couple of weeks than I've ever seen him.
And because of that, he's been involved in a lot of the even strength goals the last 10 or 12 games.
Washington still minus the services of Frank Kuchera and Ken Klee along the back line. Hip Miller looking to race ahead. Drop pass. Kavasha fires one wide as Kolzig was at the top of his crease. Even strength 5-on-5. Witt on the outlet for Ulf Dahlin. Ulf Dahlin just pitched it back behind Chris Osgood. The magic number to clinch a playoff berth for the New York Islanders is 1. A tie, a win, or an overtime loss tonight. And they're in. Gonchar turns, picks up Zettler, deflected about 5 rows into the seats.
Yeah, a slow start to this period may favor the Capitals in the long run. They want to play this grinding, trapping style against this Islanders team. Sergei Gonchar, since March 8th, 9 games. There you see his 5 points. And closing in on Lidstrom, the leader in points among NHL defensemen. Sergei now with 56 points. One guy that he knows very well is that guy, big Alexei Yashin. Doesn't take a whole lot of face-offs. A lot of people wondering why, but his face-off percentage extremely low, under 30-some% the last several weeks. That's why Bates and other guys are taking the face-offs for him.
Yashin, Gonchar, Russian Olympic teammates, but also teammates many days ago in the Soviet Elite League.
Yeah, and some of the press here were making up rumors he didn't want to take face-offs because he didn't want to mark up his stick. He quickly denied that, and he said all those rumors are coming out of Ottawa.
Cosmetic reasons, huh? Yeah. Okay. That's a new one. Breakaway chance. Yager in solo, and he lost the handle. Jaromir Jagr was all alone.
Well, mark that play right there. That's just the way the season has gone for the Caps.
Jagr to the goal mount. Yashin with the answer. Jaromir Jagr dipping, driving towards the front. The pass was blocked off of Cairns' boot. Back through center comes Roman Hamrlik. Watched by Jagr. Yashin stepping in. A penalty call, no goal. A penalty call, wash out immediately by the referee Jackson.
And it's going to be a hold in the stick call against Roman Hamrlik of the New York Islanders. I think him or Yashin are going to head off for holding the stick.
It was the trail official, not Dean Warren, but the trail official, Dave Jackson, that made the call.
And they got Yashin, not Hamrlik, even though he was hauled down a little bit. I thought he was the guy that had Jagr's stick. But it's going to be Alexei Yashin going off for this Islander Hockey Club. Here's the race for the puck. There's Jagr fencing against the defenseman jumping up in the play, and behind the play, look at the right hand right there. Perfect pickup by the great camera crew here tonight. There's Yashin's hand on the stick of Sergei Gonchar, preventing him from putting it on the ice to back check. Yashin will sit holding the stick at 156.
Greg, the Washington Capitals have power play goals in each game against Peter Laviolette's bunch, including tonight. Dmitry Kristich from Jagr and Bondra back in the first. Washington now looking to level things here in the second period, trailing 2-1.
It should have been level already. They had a 2-0 already in this period. Just an unlucky bounce off Jagr's stick.
Metropolitan, Nikolation, Konowalchuk across the top, and the boo-boo here. Whenever you're on the power play, you don't want to be whistled for icing.
No, that really hurts right there. But the big line off because they needed a rest. Now the second unit for the Caps goes to work. There's Connell. He's going to be the grunt guy down low, and they've got to put some pressure on Chris Osgood. They've got to get traffic in front of this guy. He can sometimes lose his focus. He's been known to wander and get involved with players that really prove problems for him in front.
Trying for another 30-win campaign, something that was routine for him in Detroit. We have seen Chris Osgood not perform nearly to the levels of Billy Smith, but we have seen Steve Konowalchuk irritate Chris Osgood before, as recently as last week, setting screens and going hard for rebounds. Nikolation lost the draw to LaPointe. A coin's wrister's block. Blake's there for the follow-up just off the outside of the post.
Too big of a juicy rebound off that pad, and the rebounds, goaltenders want to push them to the corners. That baby right off the big pad of Ole Kolzig, Joe, and right into the slot. That would have been a shorty, number 18 for the Islanders.
2.5 into period 2. 90 seconds left in the minor to Yashin, and Blake will send Washington packing. Gonchar, Bondra the power play points. Konowalchuk still out there with Metropolitan Nikolation. Sergei Gonchar drifts one in from center. Osgood did not slow it down. Metropolitan to Konowalchuk. Back for Metro. Tap to Nikolation. Point position Bondra. He lost it on the shuffle. Forced back out to center and beyond. The Islanders are super aggressive penalty killer. Sometimes it gets them into trouble, as evidenced back in the first.
Kelly Miller would not have it any other way. That's the way he played, and he's in charge of this unit. He wants aggressive PK all over the ice.
Jaromir Jagr skirting along that blue line. Lays it back for Bondra. 40 seconds on the Washington power play, trailing 2-1. Just past 3 minutes done in period 2. Kavasha trying to pitchfork it free. Hamrlik there. Jagr on the takeaway to the front. Oh, Osgood, marvelous. That one caught a piece of the iron, too, as he beat Gonchar.
And what a play by Jaromir Jagr, sneaking behind all the scrum along the half board, and then out-muscling the defenseman to make that pass into the slot. Excellent play by Jagr. Unlucky shot off the body and pipe.
Yashin will be let loose in 6 seconds. Sylvain Cote, whose offensive numbers are the best of his career against the Islanders, Plays it for Kristic on the flank to Yager. To the goal mouth and right on through. Bates deflecting it. Linus Zubris plays to Yager, takes the return. New York Islanders back to even strength. 5-on-5 they work. Kenny Janssen snares, looking for Yashin. Cote pinched down, gave it right to Janssen. Janssen looking for the send-out. Bates in stride. 3-on-1. Bates closing in. Bates hangs on, and Kolzig got him with a pad, and he'll cover up.
Mark that save, too. Right there by Ole Kolzig. 3-on-1. Bates was looking behind. He had Yashin and Parrish coming alongside, but he elected to dipsy-do because he ran out of space. He was looking for Yashin. Runs out of space, Joe, and Ole Kolzig comes up big. Here's the play. Look at Yashin, left side of the screen. Notice that Zetz plays perfectly between them, and that's good communication between Ole and Zettler. Zettler, I'm sure, said, hey, Ole, you got the shooter. You got the shooter. At the other end there, you see that great Capitals chance on the power play.
Craig, I know Chip Winfield is not in the truck, but are you playing producer tonight?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Mark that, mark that. You're all over the place. And mark that too.
Great 2 saves right there. Osgood at one end, Kolzig at the other. The goaltenders have settled down here in the second.
Bill Bell, our producer director, in the truck tonight. Joe Bennannatti, Craig Laughlin with you for Comcast Sportsnet coverage of the Washington Capitals, their playoff quest. Blake swooping out of the corner to the point position for Korolev. That was a misfire in terms of the pass to set up that one-timer. Forbes, mugged by Blake. And him chisels it around. Hogue waiting. Benoit Hogue ran into a double team there. Osgood will slow it for Van Impe. Approaching 5 minutes done in period 2. Claude Lapointe on the move with room. Cutting in. Just lost the handle. Caps are going to go shorthanded here. Osgood to the players' bench. When the Washington Capitals touch it, we'll hear the whistle, and now the Caps will be shorthanded for the first time tonight.
Well, a couple of wide open plays. Joe Sacco now getting involved with a couple of Islanders down low. But there's a hooking call against the Capitals. Good speed by Lapointe to pick up this puck, get it in his glove, and drop it. And there's the little hook right from behind, preventing Lapointe to get to the net and come across and work the backhand. He faked the shot there because he had to freeze the goalie. And number 2, the puck was rolling. Colin Forbes does a nice job back-checking on the play with the Capitals defender caught in the neutral zone.
Craig, I didn't notice. Is Bobby Nystrom here tonight?
You know, I'm not sure. I think he could be at the Final Four still.
With his son, Aaron. Okay.
I think he could be there. I did not see him on the ice, but I did see big Clark Gillies.
The reason I bring up Nystrom's name is Claude Lapointe, who's won the 3-time Nystrom Award for his hustle and hard work.
There's the guys that have been retired, some fine players. Billy Smith, Nystrom, Bossy, Trottier, Gillies, Potvin. That's a nice six-pack right there, isn't it?
Very much so. Brendan Witt and Mark Parrish having words with one another as they try to jockey for position. You look at the special teams numbers for these two groups respectively. The Islanders trying to advance their lead. They fell behind 1-0 thanks to a power play goal by Dmitry Kristic. With even strength markers from Kavasha and Cairns, they're in front by 1. Being outshot by Washington 10-9. Kenny Janssen, former Toronto Maple Leaf first-round pick. Beautiful pass to Bates, who's disgusted with himself. He didn't catch that one on the move. He would have hit the seam perfectly. Yashin working the half boards. Crowded there by Nikolitin. Nikolitin and Bondra forcing the Islanders back to neutral. Fortin and Witt, the penalty-killing defenders. Yashin barreling ahead. Alexei Yashin at low crouch, and as he made an extra deke at the line, the Isles are offside.
Generally, you're supposed to go behind the puck carrier there. Parrish in front of Yashin. And we take a look at our Lowe's home stats on beaten streaks at Nassau Veterans Coliseum. Ottawa, 13 games, 96 until the current year. Chicago, 13. The Caps, 97 through the current season. 10. Buffalo, 10. Unbeaten in 22 straight overall. Versus the Islanders are the Caps.
We'll see Chicago Tuesday at MCI Center. You're invited to join us.
Yeah, they're a little banged up in the back line. Karpotseb, one of their better defenders, is out. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Hopefully the Caps use home ice to their advantage.
Steve Konowalchuk, Linus Zubris on ice to a penalty kill here. Washington a man short for another 65 seconds. 13:50 to go in the second period. 2-1 New York. Janssen hurriedly back through center. Rams that one high on the glass, and it will flick out of play.
Now, this arena here, the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, when I played Joe, as you look at Alexei Yashin and his power play numbers, 30 of his points have come on the power play, just about half, 30 of 74. But the boards and the glass are extremely hard. I always found it that I came in here, I don't know whether it was because they had Nystrom, Gillies, Potvin, guys that like to hit
That would have helped.
But you always came out bruised and bumped. But I think it's these boards are extremely hard, as is this glass. That's hard when you get knocked into it along the wall especially.
This building, one of the NHL's older arenas. It seats better than 16,000 for NHL play. They're enjoying the Caps and Islanders on a Saturday night. A 2-1 lead for the hometown team. Adrian Aucoin, who has one of the hardest shots in the NHL.
Doesn't mind using it either, does he?
Not at all, and he usually creates rebound chances. Here's Aucoin with a rocket. Sticked out of there by Colton. Pekka taps for Cherkowski. He dummies it on through for Kip Miller. Mariusz Cherkowski on the wing. Miller, point position of Coyne. His pass was blocked by Bondra. Nicolishin will step away, trying to send Bondra in there. Peter will gladly get the line change, as we're 7 minutes old in the middle frame. With the Islanders in front by one, playing one man up for another 4 seconds. Miller storming to the goal mouth. He was met there by Sylvain Cote. Miller, quick relay for Pekka, spilled by Zubris. No penalty calls from the referees, Warren or Jackson. Pekka, rotation for Cherkowski, blocked by Zettler. Yager out of there, looking to create through center. Hammerlick won't let him go. Zettler gives it a whack back to neutral. Hammerlick guns one in from center ice. Peter Laviolette changing them up on the fly for New York. Janssen giving ground. Hammerlick surveys the situation. Around the corner curve, it's Isbister. Brad Isbister moving off a Kavasha pick. Behind the goal, Scatchard. Isbister continuing the cycle. Isbister lowering that shoulder, ran right into Dinas Zubris. Two powerful big guys meeting there. Yager occupying Scatchard for a moment. Cote jams it off the boards, not out. Long wrister by Hammerlick, gloved by Kolzig. Looked like the shortstop going up the middle there to reel in that ground ball. 11:52 to go in period 2. Ole and the Caps down 1.
How does Geico process my claim so quickly and still save me so much money?
Ancient martial arts secrets from the Wuxia.
As always, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I've been looking so long for what I want. She twisted me up, but then she turned me down.
The C Coupe with panorama glass roof. Use it how you see fit. Value unlike any other.
Make me feel good.
This Tuesday on DVD and video. You're home, but you're not alone. 13 Ghosts. Buy it this Tuesday on DVD and video.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and
Weeknights at 6:30, you can catch the most comprehensive local sports news on BWI Sports Night. A mix of pregame reports, up-to-the-minute news, and features on your favorites. BWI Sports Night, weeknights at 6:30, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Offensive zone draw for the Isles, handled there by J.F. Fortan. So Washington surviving the Islander first power play chance of the night, keeping this a one-goal game, something these two teams are very familiar with. The Islanders in particular, 35 different one-goal decisions this year. Washington is one of the league's best in one-goal games with a 15-8 mark. Dahlin turning the net. Dahlin one-handed to the front. Kristich was right there at the doorstep again. Osgood made the poke check. Kip Miller 2-on-2 on the crisscross with Scatchard. Miller looking for help. It ricochets off a defender, and Kolzig just got his skate to the post.
Yeah, a couple of ricochets there. Fortunately for Kolzig, it wasn't moving that quickly as it came to that left pad. But it would have went in the net had they flashed that lefty to get that puck from staying out of the net.
23-year-old Russian, Evgeny Korolev, working in back with Darren Van Imp. Van Imp hoists it off the rink. We get the whistle as Scatchard and Yonkman stare daggers at one another.
Time now for our Dodge trivia question. The Islanders have 4 Rookies of the Year in their last 40 years. Which other team has as many?
It's a good question. I was walking by that wall of fame in front of the Islander dressing room today, and I noticed the names of Trottier and Potvin as Rookies of the Year. 4 of them, huh? All right, we'll mull that over. New York on goals from Kvasha and Cairns. A 2-1 leader over visiting Washington tonight. Caps finishing off a 3-game, 4-night stretch. Isbister didn't get it out. Yonkman plays the wall. Metropolitan greeted immediately by Janssen. The Caps have to turn tail. Kolzig helping his own cause. Around for Bondra. Clicked off to Yonkman. Cote, whoa, good move by Metropolitan. Quick pass from Bondra. Metropolitan hooked, spun around and down. Bye-bye, Mr. Isbister.
Well, Isbister coming back for his center. Pekka trying to level a cap in the neutral zone, allowed the Capitals to transition. Michael Pekka, a fierce hitter in the neutral zone, and leads to this cap chance the other way. And there's Mr. Isbister, as I like to call him, hooking down Glenn Metropolitan. Couldn't pull the trigger as he's hooked from behind. He will sit for a deuce. The Caps go to the power play.
Another chance for Washington to draw even. Peter Laviolette checking out the scenery on that scoreboard. Washington Capitals fan club in attendance again on the road tonight here on Long Island. We wanted to wish Paul and Connie a happy birthday. Washington Capitals, wouldn't mind delivering a present here. A power play goal to not the score. Zubris, Metropolitan, Yager, Bondra, and Gonchar 5 on ice. Jaromir Yager looking to snap out of a 6-game goalless skid. Metro wins the draw. Bondra plays it out wide for Gonchar. Yager harassed immediately. A coin will badger Zubris. Metropolitan diving in. Yager picks it out of the pack. Jaromir Yager worked over by Adrian Aucoin. Slings it out there wide for Bondra. Around the corner curve, Yager again. Zubris channeled it for Metropolitan. He's going to be beaten to it by Claude Lapointe. Lapointe trying to angle clear, and he does.
Well, the more they keep the puck on the wall against the Capitals, the better off the penalty killers are. And you notice the first 20 seconds or so, the Caps power play couldn't get it off the wall. The Caps need to get it into open spaces, settle it down.
Yager stepping to the gut, finds Zubris there. A kick out stopped by Osgood, and Janssen will take the rebound and funnel it all the way back. 9.5 to go, second period. Washington's power play, $1:04 left in it. Bondra, a blur back through center. On the wing for Simon. Deep slot, Gonchar. Sergei stick handling through traffic. Hooks away from Kvasha. Hitting Konowalchuk. Tries to put a move on Hammerlick. Kristich, fancy stick handling, lost it off the toe of his blade, and Kvasha will clear.
Right idea from Dima, trying to get into that open area. Just unlucky with the pressure that the Islanders put against you. You're always worried about getting poke checked, and that's why he lost that puck in that situation.
Long send in. Simon's got another step. Backhand. Kick out stop. Rebound. Osgood got that one too. Bates looking to go in transition with Pekka shorthanded. Didn't maneuver around Peter Bondra. Chris Simon twice tonight has found himself behind the Islander defense. One time by our vantage point, he missed the net. That time with a backhand denied by Osgood.
It seems like the seams are going to be so important here tonight. If the Caps can break through those seams, they seem to be able to get through the defense of the Islanders, and that sprung a couple of the Caps here in this hockey game.
Osgood unbeaten in 5 of his last 6. The lone loss to these Washington Capitals.
And there's that seam pass between the two defenders. Off come to the races goes Simon. Notice he couldn't switch to his forehand or he would have been checked from behind. He knew he had to lean in and go on his backhand. Left side pressure, the D bearing down, and he takes the backhand, then gets a forehand to boot on that sequence. Excellent pass by Gonchar. There you see the defense Van Imp and company and Hammerlich trying to sprint back. Too late. Two good whacks for Simon.
Plenty of chances tonight for Cy. He's never scored against Chris Osgood. And interestingly enough, Jaromir Jagr has just one more goal than that against Osgood in his career in a dozen games. Dmitry Kristich, on the other hand, he solves Ozzy with no problems. 9 and 13. Isbister caught from behind by Brendan Witt. Back to 5-on-5 play. Claude Lapointe back behind the goal. Isbister marked by Witt. Flicked ahead for Benoit Hogue. And Adrian Aucoin did not keep the Islanders in as we have a bit of a skirmish. Isbister and Witt need to be separated. Brendan Witt, who came to blows last night with Ottawa's Chris Neal. Colin Forbes in there as well to chortle in someone's ear. Cooler heads are going to prevail, though. Islanders are still in the driver's seat.
Hi, everyone. I'm back in town to get you on your feet again. Get up.
Okay, fellas.
So what do you think? Good offense or good defense? Find the answer and the Volvo S60 at your local Volvo retailer or at volvocars.com/questions.
Log on to the coolest game.
NHL.com lets you listen to every game live. Get breaking news, real-time scores, and the hottest video clips. Play fantasy hockey, check super detailed stats, and interact with other fans from anywhere in the world. The NHL.com network gives you access to every team site. Customize your favorite team jersey and get cool NHL merchandise.
Sir, you ordered this? Sure did. Cool.
NHL.com. If it's hockey, it's here.
Bold, powerful, and a great way to get to work. Dodge.
Hope you're going to be with us for Fan Appreciation Day. It's our reminder on the Verizon community calendar. The Caps hosting the Devils to close the regular season, April 13th, 202-266-CAPS. The number to call to get your tickets. All fans through the turnstile will be receiving the Washington Capitals team poster. That night, Washington trailing New York by 1 in the second period. Montreal leading Columbus by 1 on its side of the legend. Whistle here as linesman Scapagnello stopped the play. Referee Dean Warren lecturing a couple of players on ice.
Well, there's always a couple of heavy hitters out there, and that was Steve Webb out there. Colin Forbes doesn't mind throwing around his muscle and flexing it. Webb's a guy, he doesn't have a shift that he makes contact. He's not had a good shift. That's just the way he plays. Looking around the leaders around the NHL, for the time he plays, he racks up the most hits in a hockey game. He's unbelievable. He's like a missile. He just tries to rail guys. Here's a look at that last sequence in the neutral zone. Here comes Webb, past the puck, and he still finishes his check along the wall, and that drew his player, the Caps player, offside at the Islander blue line.
No penalties called, so we'll play 5-on-5 in this 2-1 game. All the scoring back in the first. Kristich for Washington on the power play. Kavasha and Cairns for New York. Zubris, Jagr, Metropolitan, reassembled by head coach Ron Wilson. They're out there now, strength against strength, top line against top line. Bates, Parrish, Yashin for New York. Mark Parrish for Cairns. Yashin delicately to Bates. John Bates will swing. The Islanders with just 11 shots in this contest. Washington unofficially with 13. Hammerlich will launch it all the way down. Zettler in a foot race with a very speedy Bates. Got there for the icing call.
Well, we know Mr. Jagr can score, but Chris Simon has had the best chances in this hockey game. He's had 2 breakaways early in the first. Here's Cy coming in. There he is, snapping it top shelf just over the net. Here in the second, nice spring of the pass. Here in the second, nice spring of the pass by Goncha. Back in and a follow-up forehand. The chances have been coming Capitals' way, but Chris Simon has not been able to solve Osgood. The first shot, an excellent opportunity to go top shelf. Osgood isn't that big, and if you can throw it up into the top corner, that's a good place to beat this kid.
Single season numbers for Simon, 14 tallies, closing in on 100 NHL markers. Needs 4 for that. Right off this draw, set play, quick release there. An even quicker catching glove as Bondra blasted one right to Osgood. Simon cleaned out by Pekka. A booming hit from Michael Pekka, the type he's known for. Simon fighting through a coin now. A coin puts Simon into the glass. Brendan Witt kicks it along the dasher. Michael Pekka, the Islander captain, avoids a high hit from Bondra. Peter Bondra back behind the goal, quickly to the front. Osgood kneels, it's deflected away. Isbister hoists it just over the head of Cherkasky. 6.5 to go in the second period, 2-1 for the Islanders. Nikolic tried to get fancy there on Pekka, no sale. Cherkasky, a little timing play. Isbister in, stop, rebound, score! Kenny Janssen.
Another defenseman who loves to join the rush. When I talked to Joe Sacco in between periods, said guys like Kenny Janssen, Hammerlick, and a coin, you got to beware of them. Well, here's the turnover. Too cutesy in the neutral zone for the Caps. Isbister comes in, great stop, but notice the trailing cap, Nikolic, doesn't get there in time, and it's in the net. Nico following up, trying to corral Janssen, who came up from his defensive posture and joined the rush. Here it is. Here's the shot, there's the save, and again, the rebound kick directly into the slot, and there's Janssen who puts her home into the empty net, 3-1 Isles.
Double digits for another Islander defender. Janssen's 10th at 13:36. It should come from Isbister and Cherkasky. Washington looking to respond swiftly. Osgood down at point-blank range, keeping Konowalchuk away.
And Konowalchuk had a chance there for a fraction of the second to be alone with the puck laying in the paint. Osgood lost control of the bomb from the blue line as the Capitals' Cote let her fly. And look at Kono. He has position. Just can't kick it up onto his blade. He kicks it towards the net. Before he gets his stick on it, it's under that guy's glove. Osgood looking for his 5th 30-win season. He gets it tonight. That will be the case.
Those marks against the Caps, of course, authored while with the New York Islanders and the Detroit Red Wings. 6 minutes to go, second period. The Islanders enjoying their largest lead on the night at 2. It's a 3-1 count. Miller takes Yonkman to the end boards. Kvasha looking to point position. Konowalchuk snares. 2-on-2 back with Ulf Dahlin. Dahlin working down the alleyway. Ulf with his highest goal-scoring total since the 93-94 season. Looking to add to it tonight. Janssen and Dahlin there. One Swede to another. Konowalchuk will carry Kvasha to the boards. Kip Miller looks up ice. Miller for Kvasha, defended by Kote. Konowalchuk reels in, plays it back onto the Islander defensive ice. Scatchard roaring after it. Scatchard taps one off the outside of the goal. Dmitry Kristich for Washington. Little saucer outlet to Jaromir Jagr. Full blast down the wing. Jagr hits the brakes, cuts the middle and fires. Deflected. Cairns to the corner. Blake will chip it back out. 5 minutes to go in period 2. We were 2-1 after 1. The Islanders recently on the board with Kenny Janssen providing the marker. Zubris to the goal mound. On the board, Settler. Stopped by Osgood. Rebound. Zubris, strike 1. On the boards, it'll be Cairns to clear it. Sergei Galchor will be challenged by Blake. Nice outlet for Metropolitan. The quick up starts the 3-on-3. Jagr driving ahead. Jagr to the goal mouth. The pass never got there. Jagr in hot pursuit. Blake will beat him to it. Jaromir flung Blake down. Fans want to call, they won't get it. Cairns up in arms with Metropolitan. That easily could have been Holden. On the boards, it's Blake. For LaPointe, a little one-on-one against Gancho. Sergei staying with Claude LaPointe. Finished him against the boards. Zubris comes in there to lend a helping hockey stick. 3-1 New York, 4 minutes to go, second period. Metropolitan out for Settler. Cut off by Janssen. Cherkowski, and offside is Claude Lapointe. Break time for us on Comcast Sportsnet. And the Islander fans enjoying what they see.
Hey, it's Kevin Cohen from Jim Coleman Honda. I know I've got a big head, but hey, I've got big news. Nobody beats a Jim Coleman deal, and we mean it. Plus, you get best price guaranteed, 2-year, 24-hour roadside assistance, and our Platinum Plus membership gives you big discounts all over town. Hey, big is good, right? Big savings, big selection, big. Oops! Remember, nobody beats a Jim Coleman Honda deal.
Check out the new and improved Caps Power Pay monthly investment plan. With Caps Power Pay, you can make 11 monthly payments running March 2002 through January 2003 on your season tickets with no interest and no service charges. For more information, call 202-266-CAPS or visit www.WashingtonCaps.com. America Online keyword, Washington Caps.
Sir, I pulled you over for driving in the carpool lane without a second passenger.
Oh, nice detective work, Sherlock.
What did you say? What? Nothing. I'm just gonna let you off with a warning this time. All right.
I got your warning right here.
Woody! I got your ticket right here.
Dodge Stratus. With available 200 horsepower and race-inspired handling, you'll try anything to keep moving.
Nice boots. I didn't know they made those for men.
Fans of Caps have improved Caps Power Pay. That's that monthly investment plan. With Caps Power Pay, you make 10 monthly payments on your season tickets with no interest and no service charges. For more information, you're invited to call 202-266-CAPS. Offensive zone. Washington, Benoit Ho preparing to draw, flanked by Joe Sacco and Colin Forbes. Caps still out shooting the Islanders. Chris Osgood has made a couple of sparklers here in the second period. And the Caps have had other opportunities go awry.
Too many missed opportunities. That's been a big problem. This game could easily be 3-4-2 or 3-4-1. A lot more offense here tonight against this Islanders team that they were able to muster against the tough trapping Ottawa Senators last night.
The Islanders expecting a tough game from Ron Wilson's club. Caps have improved their road play significantly of late. They're unbeaten in 9 of their last dozen away from MCI Center. They're trailing by 2 tonight. Late second period. Brendan Witt threw a screen. That struck Sacco. Witt a chance to reload. And Osgood will blocker that aside. Witt and Webb shoulder to shoulder. Claude Lapointe hurriedly on the advance. It's a 2-on-1. Cross-reach score! Jason Blake.
This is a matchup of fourth lines against fourth lines, and the Islanders get the better of the Caps. And it's the speed that burns you off the wall. Certainly a hit on Scatcherd down low, but here comes Lapointe. Watch Blake on the left side. Watch this great backhand pass right through the skates of 410, right to Jason Blake, and he puts it into the back of the net. Blake has had a tough time finding the back of the net, but in an empty net, he puts her home. That's his 8th of the season for Jason Blake. Tremendous speed by Lapointe and Blake, and that's what creates that 2-on-1. And Lapointe giving him a nice tap, saying, way to go. The Islanders up 4-1.
Jason Blake, who had gone some 8 games without a point, cashing in there at the 16:28 mark. For the New York Islanders, a couple of goals less than 3 minutes apart, and they're throwing their bodies around. Pekka, another booming hit. Bondra closes in, fires. He had the corner. He missed it on the far side. Is Bister in transition? Is Bister? Stops, looks, finds Pekka for a redirect, and Kolzig got a chunk.
And here you're seeing a little fatigué step in.
That means tired, right?
Yes, a little tired here. The Islanders with some momentum, and their little water bugs are skating hard. That's going to be a penalty against Simon as he tries to nail Michael Pekka. Got his fist in the back of his head. The Caps will go short-handed.
Well, if it hasn't unraveled already, the New York Islanders are going to have a chance to pick the Washington Capitals apart at the seams here on a power play.
And Simon throwing around Scatcher too, and Cairns also getting involved. But Chris Simon will go. You talked about Michael Pekka. He's lowered the boom a couple of times at a couple of caps. He's missed a couple of guys. But after that last hit, Simon wanted to pay him back, and he did behind the net. But it'll cost him a deuce, probably for the high stick or the elbow. Cairns and the Islanders will go to the power play.
Michael Pekka, who plays on that borderline with these hits. Some of them cross the line.
And here's one right there. There's a good high
That's
stick.
definitely crossed the line.
Yeah, that's a good one. High stick, cross check. You can call it what you want. There's the captain, Michael Pekka. He dishes them out. That one he took from Chris Simon.
I think his hits tonight have been perfectly fine. And I'm wondering, though, how does someone who's barely 200 pounds throw the hits that he does?
Well, it's the way he comes through the checks. You know, a lot of guys that hit people stop skating. Michael Pekka's been accused in the past from jumping, from leaving his skates. More often than not, he lowers his body and follows through with his shoulder and continues skating through the guy he's checking. That's why most of his checks are of that big booming variety.
He's ferocious, for sure. You'd love to have him on your team. Adrian Aucoin working the umbrella power play. Yashin zips one wide. Yashin and Miroslav Shatan each with 15 power play goals. They trail only Peter Bondra in that statistical category. Brendan Witt playing without his hockey stick, takes the handoff there. Linus Zubris passing the baton. Now Zubris will go to the bench for the change. Islanders on a power play late second period. Parrish hooks off, looks for some help. He'll find it from Sean Bates. Bates watched there by Nikolation. Lost to Brendan Witt, and Witt will clear. Simon off for another 70 seconds. 1:45 to go in period 2. The Islanders with 2 in the first, 2 more here in the second, and a 4-1 lead. Aucoin sizzles one in from center. Bondra in a duel there with Parrish and Bates. Zettler will reverse. Cote stubbed a clearing attempt. Van Imp for Pekka. Round and round with Cote. Bates working the corners. Pekka to the point position, and that one will bounce past Van Imp. A week ago, Van Imp scored his first goal as an Islander against the Caps. Working with Cherkovsky on the swivel. Kristich stepped right in his skating lane, and Cote will hammer back to center. Tapped by Jágr, tried to go give and go with Kristich. Nothing doing.
Well, the size of the Islander defense played to their advantage. Guys like Johnson and Aucoin, big defensemen with long reaches. The Capitals have not been able to get the puck through as often as they would like. They've been intercepting him here in this shorthanded situation.
10 seconds left in that penalty-killing situation. 43 in the second period. A good one for New York. Hammerlick ahead. JF 410 scuttled by Miller. Give it right back to Fortan, and the youngster, given a second opportunity, will get it clear. Whistle as the puck was hit with a high stick.
And on our Toyota League leaderboards, we're going to take the guys that average a lot of ice time around the league. Pronger of the Blues on the back line, 29-19. Aucoin of the Islanders, 28-53. Lidstrom, 28-49 with the Red Wings. And Aucoin, 40-plus minutes twice this season. Against Toronto, 40-32. Florida 40-13. And both those games were overtime games. Aucoin lost a ton of ice time. And the thing that Laviolette was telling us before the game, he doesn't show fatigue. He comes to the bench just as fresh as when he went out there.
See the remaining time in the period. Islanders a 4-1 advantage late second frame. Aucoin using all that ice time to take a lot of shots. Sergei Gonchar leads the NHL in terms of goals by a defender. Adrian Aucoin leads all defenders in shots on cage. Right now in the defensive posture, protecting Chris Osgood. Kavasha and Zubris lined up opposite one another for the draw. Scapaniello will soon set it down. Osgood wanders. Aucoin floats it into the seats.
Jágr trying to create some O here for the Caps. Certainly being watched closely as he always is. Has set up a couple of guys, but they haven't been able to finish other than early on with Bima on that 2-on-0 on the power play. But another point for Jaromir Jágr. He leads this club. He now improves his point total to 75 points on the season.
Yarmir has yet to score against the Islanders in the season series, a season series that's led by Washington. 2 wins, no losses, and a tie. The Caps' 22-game unbeaten streak against the Isles in jeopardy tonight. More importantly, where Washington is concerned, precious points in the Eastern Conference standings, with Montreal at last check on the lead in their game. Back through center, it is Scatchard with 2 seconds and 1. The Islander faithful rising to their feet. A standing ovation will salute the Islanders off to the dressing room. New York had it in control 2-1 after 1. Janssen and Blake both pushing markers past that man in the middle period. It is 4-1 New York through 2 on Comcast Sportsnet. The Washington Capitals, who have been the comeback kids of late, will have a serious comeback ahead of them with 20 minutes to go in regulation. Second intermission time for us. We'll break away from the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. We'll get things started back home in Bethesda. Here's Carol Maloney.
Thanks again, Joe, and welcome back, everybody, to the Comcast Sportsnet studios for the second intermission report. We begin with the greatest show on dirt. The infant season has proved to be anything but great for the Baltimore Orioles. Still, there is no panicking in the clubhouse. After all, in each of the past 3 straight losses, the Birds were supported by pretty decent pitching, minus 1 or 2 mistakes. It's just that the bats have been deathly quiet in the last 3 games. Coming into today, the Birds only plated 1 run in the past 27 innings. Today at Oriole Park, Terp fans still shouting about their banner year. The O's trying to obtain the same level of status against the Boston Red Sox, and this will help. Quiet bat be gone. Bottom third, Jay Gibbons jacks one deep to right. And the power hitter has his first home run of the year. Birds up 1-0. Jump ahead to the 8th inning. Game tied at 1. 2 men on for Nomar Garciaparra. Takes Scott Erickson deep to left, and Melvin Moore has it tracked, leaps up, catches it, and loses it on the way down. Gone! A 3-run shot for Garciaparra, 4-1 Boston, and the Bo Sox go on to win it 4-2. Now, Garciaparra homers for the 2nd straight day. He was 2 for 4 today with 3 ribbies. Just 4 hits for the Birds, one of which was Gibbons' first dinger of the season. The Orioles have now lost 4 straight since their opening day win over the Yankees. In that game, they've scored 10 runs. Since then, they've plated just 3 runs in 4 games.
Scotty pitched a great game, deserved to win. We're not swinging the basketball enough to win right now, and pitchers are doing our job. The fault falls on the offense when it's not scoring any runs.
We just got to be patient and work our way through this thing. It's we're going to be okay. The worst thing we can do is start trying to do things differently or going outside, or outside of what it is that we can do.
It was the Orioles' 4th straight loss. Tomorrow, they're going to try to snap that losing streak right here on Comcast Sportsnet. You can catch Game 3 between the Orioles and Red Sox, game tied at 1:30 p.m. Daniel Snyder, owner of the Redskins, is looking into buying a Major League Baseball team. According to the Washington Post, Snyder is teaming up with BET founder and chief executive Robert L. Johnson. The two are exploring options on how to bring baseball back to the D.C. area. Currently, 2 other groups are vying to purchase a franchise in the hopes of moving a team to Washington. From the team Snyder wants to bring to the team Snyder already owns. The Washington Redskins are close to completing a deal that would keep linebacker Eddie Mason in the burgundy and gold for a 4th season this fall. This information coming from Mason when we talked to him last night. He says the deal should be done by Monday. Meantime, the Redskins will try to rework running back Stephen Davis's contract in the coming days. This according to the Washington Post. Davis is 2 seasons into a $90 million pact. The Skins need to redo the deal so that Davis's salary cap number won't hurt them in the coming years. The 6-year veteran out of Auburn would receive another signing bonus at the completion of the deal. And that will do it for the second intermission report from the Comcast Sportsnet studios here in Bethesda. Joe Bennannatti and Craig Laughlin will be back after this break to call the 3rd period. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Jessica Sheets owns a Hyundai Accent.
It looks great. There's enough room to fit all your friends in there.
It comes with the freedom of America's best warranty.
It tells me that Hyundai is there for me as the customer.
And the Accent has so many standard features. No wonder it's the best-selling car in its class.
The Accent was a great deal. I got exactly what I was looking for a great price.
The Hyundai Accent at just $8,499. It could be your best value, too.
Freedom is calling, yeah.
Hyundai dealers, helping kids fight cancer.
It's daylight savings time at Value City Furniture, so spring ahead with great home furnishing values.
Like this soft and inviting two-piece living room for just $5.99. You save $450.
Pay only $2.99 for this stylish 5-piece wood and metal dinette. Save $200.
Save $70 on your choice of these versatile 4-drawer chests. Only $29 each.
And you'll always be on time with our retro-style alarm clock, now just $9.
Remember, it's daylight savings time this weekend at Value City Furniture.
Don't be late.
Just about anything a man needs, he can find at K&G. Hi, I'm the mayor. Last time I bought a pair of shoes. There they are. They were $49. They feel like $200 shoes. I may actually run for state house before long, maybe governor. I like being able to get a good product at a good price. Great selection, everything from sandals to formal shoes. Oh me, I buy just about everything there.
This is ridiculous. Just keep looking. What about the one on the right?
She'll love this. With a Nokia 3360 phone and AT&T wireless service.
No, more right. This?
You can send and receive text messages.
Yeah, that's what she wants. I mean, I think that's what she wants.
And right now, with a $50 rebate from AT&T Wireless, it's everything you ever wanted.
How did you know?
Welcome back to Caps Hockey on the road. The Caps facing off against the Islanders. That second period belonged to the Islanders, and they have a 3-goal lead heading to the third. Hello, everyone. I'm Craig Laughlin, joined downstairs by Tim Army, the assistant coach. And Turbo, you guys had ample opportunities. It looked to me like they took advantage of theirs better than yours.
I think that's a pretty good synopsis of the period, Locker. We did a lot of good things. We've been hearing for the last week that they were going to run us out of the building and they were going to come guns blazing, and I really think that we've done a good job for 2 periods. We've held them to 16 shots. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to capitalize on any of our opportunities. You can see in the second period there, Cy had 2 great chances on a breakaway. The puck bounced over Yags' stick, and the first period, Cy had a breakaway and missed high glove, and he had a lot of room there. So we've missed some opportunities, and we turned the puck over on the 3rd goal. Then we got caught up on the 4th goal. They made a couple of good plays. They had two real good chances, and they buried them, and that gives them the 4-1 lead. But we just got to continue to do the things we can do and just chip away and try and get that second one and close the gap a little bit.
Now in the dressing room, what's the feeling? Is it still all positives? This is the time of the season. I guess you have to build on that type of stuff.
We've played real good hockey for the last couple of weeks, and there's nothing to be negative about. We're playing for our playoff lives right now. That's the reality of it. We got to hunker in and dig into the trenches and get the job done. There's no feeling sorry for ourselves. We know we made a couple of mistakes. A couple of good players took advantage of it, but that's why you play 60 minutes or 65 minutes. The game certainly isn't over. We've had a lot of opportunities to put a lot of pressure on them in their end. We just need to do more of that, try and get the second one. We did it in San Jose a couple weeks ago, closed a 4-1 deficit to a 4-4 tie and tied the game late in the third. Unfortunately, we lost. We're going to do the same thing tonight. We're going to come out of here with 2 points.
Well, you guys have been real resilient all year. Best of luck in the third, Turbo.
All right, thanks, Locker.
All right, Tim Army joining us after 40 minutes. We'll take a look at the highlights and some stuff right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Stay with us.
Skip Barber, Formula One racer, founder of one of America's best racing schools. He knows performance. He also knows new Quaker State oils are formulated for fine-tuned performance in different engines, like new Quaker State Full Synthetic for advanced engines. And only Quaker State offers a warranty covering all lubricated engine parts, even if you change your own oil.
Hey, it's been working for me.
For the performance you want, Quaker State. Stay tuned.
Ask for Quaker State motor oils, fine-tuned for your vehicle when you visit this fine location.
When you think of Italy, you think of things like cars that think they can fly. The latest fashions. You girls appreciate great taste. Want to go to Subway? Italy. That's where Subway came up with the idea for the new roasted garlic on Italian. Come on.
Our new roasted garlic on Italian is delicious. We start with classic Italian bread, sprinkle roasted garlic, and select spices on top, and bake it all together. It's one of Subway's 2 new gourmet breads.
Maybe in your next lifetime, guys.
Subway!
It's big. It's bad. It's bold. It's the all-new Dodge Ram.
Now everyone will see our family crest.
live this Tuesday on DVD and video.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
The last time the New York Islanders qualified for the Stanley Cup playoffs, 1994. Ron Hextall was in goal. They lost to the hated Rangers, who went on to a Stanley Cup championship. If the Islanders hold this lead, they'll qualify for the playoffs again. Joe Bennannatti, Craig Laughlin with you tonight on Comcast Sportsnet. Craig, right to the second period highlights. Early on, a chance for Washington to tie the game, but
bad bounces once again going against Jaromir Jagr. Here's a chance for the Caps. Big guy Jaromir Jagr collects the pass. Would have been a 2-on-0, and look at him lose the puck. Bounces over his stick early. He did create a great chance. Watch him strip the puck from Hammerlick. Finds Sergei sneaking down the slot. Excellent stuff by Chris Osgood. 2 bang-bang goals for the Islanders in that period, generated from the neutral zone. Cherkowski to Isbister, and the big rebound, Janssen on the follow-up.
His 13th at 13:36.
And you're not going to see a prettier pass than this one right there. LaPointe to Jason Blake, taking care of an 8-game drought back of the net. That baby go.
That's number 8 for Jason Blake at 16:28. The Islanders are off and running, leading by 3, going to period number 3. We've got you covered on Comcast Sportsnet. 20 minutes to go in regulation. Don't you move.
Still paying too much for car insurance? Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more.
Hello? No, I can't save you money on car insurance. You want Geico, not Gecko. Well, that's uncalled for.
Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I've been looking so long for what I want. She twisted me up, and then she turned me down.
The C Coupe with panorama glass roof. Use it how you see fit. Value unlike any other.
Make me feel good.
A great Oriole moment to me was when Eddie Murray hit his 500th home run in Camden Yards.
Eddie sends one to deep right field. Way back and got it!
He obviously went to LA, went to New York, but he came back as an Oriole, and he got an opportunity to hit it in front of his hometown fans, which is where he originally started. So I think that was a great moment, for not only for him, but for Oriole fans.
Every Sunday, before they start their engines, it's NASCAR This Morning.
Fasten your seatbelts and look at them go. Doesn't get any better than this.
It's the show that takes you inside the world of NASCAR for all the breaking stories on or off the track.
That is absolutely outstanding. It's almost frightening.
Don't miss the best pre-race party this side of Talladega.
It's absolutely wild.
NASCAR This Morning, Sundays at 10:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Caps hockey is being brought to you by Hyundai, where driving is believing. Test drive one at your local Hyundai dealer. By your Washington area Subway restaurants. And by Jim Coleman's Montgomery Mall Toyota, where you're the boss and we make your deal. New York Islanders 11 games over the 500 mark and 3 goals better than the Washington Capitals. 20 minutes away from qualifying for the Stanley Cup playoffs. 20 minutes away from ending an awfully long winless skid against the Washington Capitals. Craig, our Icelandair flashback, the last time New York celebrated victory over Washington.
And here's the play, March 2nd, 97, back to the point. Hard slap shot deflected in front. Marty McGinnis with a hard load shot. And then on the doorstep, there's the puck into the back of the net. And they are victorious. LaPointe, that goal scorer, they win 2-0. That's the final. And from that team, there's actually only 3 players still playing, and they're playing tonight. Janssen, Webb, and LaPointe, one of the goal scorers. They played in that last win against the Caps.
I would never have said Steve Webb was there, but Webb indeed. Steve Webb, 7th-year pro, 26-year-old Ontario native. 4-1 New York. Other Mercedes-Benz statistics with Washington leading in shots on goal and scoring chances, but that doesn't matter much.
No, it doesn't, because they're down 4-1. Face-offs favor the Islanders. The Capitals, the last 6 or 7 games, have not won the face-off race against the teams. Penalty minutes, 6-4 in the Islanders' favor. Power plays, Caps 1 of 3. The Islanders 0 for 2. Hits, the Islanders out hitting the Caps, doubling them up, 25-12. A lot of those hits laid out by the guy, 27, Michael Pekka.
Big Ole Kvasha. They use the word enigmatic. They say that he is such a question mark about his play. With all of the size, strength, and skill, that he should be a better performer than he has shown early on in his career. When he's motivated, he's quite good.
Oh, he certainly is. When you have a size 6'5", 230, 96 Florida pick, they let him go. Hurt his knee a little bit at the Olympics, but since then, he has been one of the nice players for Laviolette. He's played extremely well. 12 goals as a rookie year, and you look at his years and the way he's scored. He scored 12 as rookie, 5 the next year, 11 the next year, and 8 the following year, and now 12 this year. That shows you the inconsistency. After 5 years, you've got to get consistent. And this could be the year, this year or next, that he does this, just that.
The Islanders would be greatly pleased, considering the talent they've assembled, along with Kvasha. Offside again, early on, 3rd period. 12 seconds done, 4-1 for New York, and Jaromir Jagr has piloted some comebacks before. This one would be a major one. Upcoming on our Sun Microsystems telecast schedule, Tuesday, the Blackhawks at MCI, Craig.
And then Friday at Buffalo, 7 o'clock start on Comcast Sportsnet. And then next Saturday, Fan Appreciation Night. Last home game for the Caps against the Devils.
Right now, you've got to hope that there's meaning to those games 1 weekend from now, considering how Montreal is faring. A 1-0 lead in the 3rd period at home against Columbus tonight. Montreal with a game in hand and a 1-point lead. Scores remain the same. That would boost up to 3. Jagr to Simon. Kenny Janssen crowding him. Bates keeping Zubris company along the backboards. Jaromir Jagr swallowed up by Adrian Aucoin. Bates, former outstanding college hockey player in his own right, lifting it ahead. Yashin comes cross ring, off of Gonchar, and Kolzig taps it to the boards. Early stages of period 3. Zettler holds up Isbister. Zubris around the dasher, not past Cairns. Glove towards the slot, collected by Chris Simon. Simon casually didn't clear it. Cherkovsky hooked away. Cherkovsky indirect to Michael Pekka. Pekka, short side, score! Mike Pekka.
Well, Michael Pekka, 24 goals now and 59 points for this hockey club. Career high in points. Getting close to career high also in goals. So that's another nice shot as he snaps one off that wing in tight. Past Ole Kolzig, 1:14 into this 3rd period. They have a 4-goal lead. Here it is down low. Look at the angle he's on. And he just snaps it. And there it is. Past Ole Kolzig, Sharpie into the back of the net. Just shooting it, hoping for some luck. Well, he got a lot of luck on that sharp angle. One that Kolzig routinely stops game after game.
Very rough night tonight for Ole Kolzig. And the New York Islanders are thrashing the Washington Capitals to the tune of 5-1. And behind that mask, Godzilla is simmering close to boil.
And this guy's boiling over with happiness. He could propel this team in his first year as part of this Islander club into the postseason. And that's been a long while waiting. The fans up on their feet chanting already about the playoffs that they think they're going to make.
That's the word they're chanting, playoffs, playoffs. And 1 minute 24 seconds in, Michael Pekka adding insult to injury. Even strength, 5-on-5 they go. Bondra up the set play on the face-off, and Osgood will corral the rebound off the backboards. Chris Osgood has been very good when he's had to be. He's had some good fortune too. And at the opposite end, the Islanders have been very, very productive on their chances.
No, they certainly have. You look at the chances through 40 minutes as we looked at the top of this period. Pretty even Steven, but they've collected and they've followed through on their chances and buried them past Kolzig. You look at the goals, 2 or 3 of them he'd like to have back in this hockey game. As we're going to be delayed a little bit here, Michael Pekka going for a new twig, making sure he's ready for the face-off. Our Subway sandwich time. Some heavy hits in this hockey game here tonight. We'll start off with Steve Webb. He's a heavy hitter all the time. There he is, 1 of 5 he's had in this game. Jaromir Jagr gets colliding right there with Blake. A little bit of a hold as he hauled down Jason Blake. He's one of the goal scorers for the Islanders. So look at our Subway sandwich here early in the third.
Good night continuing for Mariusz Czerkowski as well as Isbister, both of them with a couple of help outs. As Isbister is shoved into the cage.
Right on cue, partner. Talking about Mr. Isbister. Shoved into the cage. He slid right from the dot all the way in there. Couldn't get on his feet for balance. And he knew he was going to ram the center of the net, and he does. And Kolzig gets out of the way. Check out the left side. Here he comes. Boom! Right into that middle bar there. Ouch. Fortunately for him, there's some padding on that baby. He's a big guy. You look at the guys that they've had over the years. They've had, I'm going to look at some forwards. Bertuzzi, Halfie, Palovich, Brewer, defenseman. They've had a great amount of players. Isbister's a guy that was thought to be on the trade block. But they're smart. They've got to take their time with Isbister because look what happened to Bertuzzi, 3rd leading scorer in the National Hockey League this year. He has been terrific in Vancouver, and they didn't give him time to mature as an Islander.
You and I have been checking out the highlight film shows. Bertuzzi scoring in them. He has been sensational. Isbister broke his jaw a season ago against the Caps. Those are his numbers against Washington through the first 5 years of his NHL life. The Islanders put 5 up on the board the first time they saw the Caps in this building. The problem was Washington had 5 of its own. Tonight it's 5-1 for New York. Remember back in November, Kolzig's club jumped out to a 3-0 lead in support of Craig Billington, only to see the Islanders rally.
And Ole Kolzig against Laviolette's team and the Islanders throughout his career is number 2 in GAA. Rone Theodore is better for the Montreal Canadiens, so he's quite solid in his career against the Islanders. This night, not one of the better varieties for Kolzig.
Nope, not at all. Evgeny Korolev along the dasher, Scatchard eyeballing a pass for Van Impe. Snatched away by Konowalchuk, and he'll ripped in from center. 2.5 gone by in period 3. Islanders cruising 5-1 and looking for more. Miller over skates. Plays it back for Kavasha. He'll give it to Nolan Yonkman, and this will be whistled an offside against New York. Nolan Yonkman hoping to join the Caps, of course, in Stanley Cup playoffs in the spring, but this is a work in progress towards next year. Earlier tonight, Craig, we asked our Comcast Sportsnet viewers trivia question, testing their knowledge. The Islanders, 4 rookies of the year in the last 40 years. Which other team has as many? I'm
going to go Colorado.
When I was thinking about it, I originally thought Calgary, but you got to go one of the originals. I'd go Toronto.
I'll go Montreal. Let's take a look. Boston, or Sanderson, Bork, and Samsonov.
I know him.
I like when I miss up names, because I know you don't like that.
Samsonov. That's okay.
I do that just for you, partner.
Joe Bennannatti, Craig Laughlin with you tonight. 3 minutes into period 3. I did that just for you, Laughlin. Way to go, Laffer. See, right to his nickname.
There you go.
Parrish hits Bates. Bates with a wrister. Gloved by Kolzig.
Oh, that's that number 1 line. Bates along with Parrish and company. But there's a look at Sean Bates, a feisty sort when he gets out there. Parts of 4 seasons with the Bees organization. You talk about his college career. It was fine at Boston University, won a national championship there. As we speak, the national championship going on right now out in Minnesota on this Saturday night.
Hobie Baker Award winner for Minnesota.
Nice defenseman.
Jordan Leopold, very high-scoring defender.
Now, is he a Nashville draft?
Leopold, Anaheim Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks. There you go. Nice defender.
Isles control the draw. Van Imp to the corner. Blake, short side. Kozig holding the post. Nolan Yonkman spins it along for Hogue. He'll tap it onto the Islander side of the table. Oh, Webb just drilled Forbes.
Wow, that knocked his neck right back onto the bench there.
Oof,
he hits everybody.
And he's trying to hit Brendan Witt right now. This guy had a concussion 10 days ago. Could have fooled me. Look out, Colin Forbes. Here he comes again. Webb getting a cross-check from Forbes as a return payback. 5-1 New York, 4 minutes into the third period. On Comcast Sportsnet. Yonkman dueling with Blake. Blake cheating out of the corner, swings the goal, wraparound, stuffer block. Witt got over there to help Colton. Brendan took a high hit from Blake. As the Islanders now are teeing off. Korolev hit hard there by Hogue.
It's been a long drought for them, that's why.
Gonchar fires off of a blade and into the end zone seats.
Time now to check in with our Capital Cadillac League standings. Let's look at the Eastern Conference. Ottawa 4 with 92, 5 Toronto 91, the Isles 88. They can move to 90 with a win here. New Jersey 87, Montreal 81, and the Caps with 80. And their Caps are 3 points behind Carolina in the Southeast. When we finish up tonight, the Canes will have 2 games in hand.
90 points for the Islanders would only put them 2 behind Philadelphia. The Flyers are in action tonight, but oh, the Flyers struggling. Just 3 wins in their last 14.
And they lost another defenseman tonight. McAllister out for the season, possibly with that broken hand.
Montreal, third period at the Keg, entertaining the Columbus Blue Jackets. Stepan Quintal has the only goal of the game. Jose Theodore must be doing it again tonight for Montreal.
And the Islanders looking to get their 90 points for the first time since 85-86, when they recorded a 39-29-12 season.
Been a long time since the Isles have won a division championship. They last won the Patrick Division in 87-88. They hold on to a 4-goal lead. They've at least qualified for the Stanley Cup playoffs. That was the mission at the start of the year. What a huge turnaround it's been for Peter Laviolette. This Islander team only had 52 points last year. Nicolishin hooked down. Power play time approaching for Washington.
And Michael Pekka heading off. One of their best penalty killers heads to the penalty box. Caps on the power play.
Caps and Wizards fans, they know there's only one place to go before and after NBA and NHL action at MCI Center. It's right across the street. They call it The Rock.
Well, the captain for the club heads off. Here's the hooking call right in the neutral zone. There's Michael Pekka getting the stick up on Nicolishin, hauling him down. He will sit. The Caps go to the power play, trying to connect here against Osgood. With just about 5 minutes gone here in the third. Chip away time, partner. Chip away.
Might as well get it started. Zubris, Metropollet, Yager, Gonchar, Bondra. 5 on ice. Washington on the road in the black sweaters. Didn't they wear those last night?
Yeah, quick turnaround, huh?
Good work. Laundry detergent. Gonchar. Corner. Yager. Back to Sergei. Walking the line. Yager sets up shot. Looks cross ring. Bondra lets the blazer go. That's deflected. Hits somebody up high in front. Gonchar. Break wide. Bondra back for Gonchar. A little rotation to Yager. All on the perimeter. Good pressure from Blake. Ditto from Janssen. Islanders don't clear it. Zubris taps. Yager moves. Zubris trying to work a 2-on-1 against the coin. Metropollet hauled down. Bondra will not keep it in. 1 minute, 16 seconds to go in the power play for Washington. 14.5 to go in the game. Regulation time with the Caps trailing by 4. Metropollet shimmying down the flank away from Kvasha. Gave it up back behind the goal. Yager caught there by Van Imp. Yager's pass was heaved by Kavasha, and he'll come all the way back down Frozen Pond.
That was a good read by Kavasha. Trying to go laterally was Yager, trying to break the seam of this pressure penalty kill.
And then a sloppy handoff in the Caps' defensive territory allows the Islanders to rag more time. Yager with a blind pass that won't work, and Van Imp will clear. Hard game to figure out, Craig. Washington has not played well. I think that's the first and foremost thing to say.
Other than the first 10 minutes where they dominated. They needed to score a couple there, and then the complexion changes. Then you've got the Islanders pressing. But now the Islanders just holding back, taking the body, pressuring everywhere, getting some energy in their legs because they have their point lead.
And that's my point. I don't want to drop the hammer on him as Yager rips one right to the gloved hand of Osgood. There have been opportunities for this to be a much closer game, but it's not. Kristich off of Van Imp. Scatchard's got time and space to clear. 13-15 for the Islander fans to sit and wait before they really celebrate. Washington wouldn't mind spoiling the party. That's what they came here intending to do. But the game has gotten away from them to some degree. Osgood coughed it up to the front. There's Simon again. That one tumbled off of his blade and wide. Fortin with a rocket, blocked by Claude Lapointe. Lapointe was lassoed by Fortin, no call. Lapointe fans on a wrister. Even in full strength, 5 aside we go. Webb leaving it to Blake. Blake, Fortin, Nikolitin, Webb all in there. Washington comes out with it. Nikolitin on the wing for Konowalchuk. Marked by Cairns. Webb lost it. Simon looks for the setup to the slot. Score! Nolan Youngman's first NHL marker.
Well, if you look for a positive in this hockey game, that's it right there. Nolan Youngman, get the puck, boys, for the big fella. Sneaking in late, 12:25 left in this period. And Youngman going along the bench for the high fives. There he is. Big smile right off the get-go when he put that baby into the back of the net. Goal number 1 for this young defenseman in his NHL career, as my partner talked about. And here it is. Nice pass by Simon. And there's the shot into the back of the net as he sneaks in. And he scored, and then he cleans someone out. Doesn't get any better than that. Here's the shot. Watch him clear out the guy on the left side going out of the screen. He did, and the Caps make a goal. They're down by 3.
Nolan Youngman would like to brag to Barry Melrose about that goal, I'm sure.
Oh, sure. He wants to talk to Barry. That's one thing he wants to do down the stretch here. And there it is. Sluggo takes it, puts it in his pocket, and says, we're going to put that on a plaque for you to show off throughout the year.
Nolan go to some of Barry's hockey camps?
Yes, he did.
Was he trained by Barry?
I hope not.
I think Barry... I can hear...
Is that the answer you wanted?
That's the one. I can hear Barry crowing about that already. 5-2. The New York Islanders lead is trimmed to 3, and Brendan Witt would like to see the counter continue to click for Washington.
Hi, I'm Jeff Halpern, and I'm pleased to announce the opening of Capital Pontiac GMC, the newest dealership to join the Capital Automotive family. Capital Pontiac GMC follows Capital's tradition of quality service, large inventory selection, and years of experience. From Pontiac driving excitement like the cutting-edge Aztec to the GMC king of SUV, the Yukon Denali, and a full line of professional-grade trucks, Capital Pontiac GMC has the vehicle for you. Score a deal like I did. Stop by Capital Pontiac GMC today.
When the puck drops, feel the intensity. Washington, Chicago, MCI Center. Tuesday, April 9th, 7 p.m. For tickets, call 202-432-SEAT.
They open up to late-night fun, to Sunday family outings. From the bus, to the train, to destinations all over the world. They open up to the road to success. And with hundreds of new buses and trains, they bring people together. More than 1 million people like you step through them every day, Every day, Metro opens doors.
Moments ago, a red-letter night for Nolan Yonkman. His first NHL goal at 7:35. Simon and Konowalchuk assisting. 5-2 for the Islanders with 12:14 to go in the third period. Dave Scatchard, a very competent draw man. Craig, you were mentioning since the Adam Oates trade, the Caps have been on the short end of the face-off department in some 7 of the 9 games, 10 games since he's been moved. That'll happen when there are only, what, there's only one trained center in Andrei Nikolitin. The other guys are converts.
And Scatchard early on this season played wing and wasn't too successful, and actually at times with a healthy scratch. They were calling him Scratchard here a little bit in the paper, but now he's back to his normal position. Hey man, this is New York. Now he's back to his normal position, center, and he's much more capable there because he likes to crash and he's very strong down low. We'll see this come right now when he plays against Yager.
Apparently you're able to hand out the tough love in New York.
Yeah, you are.
Kolzig sweeps it around. Cherkasky lying in wait. Behind the goal, there's Scatchard. Poke check by Gonchar. Cherkasky met by Zubris. Marius Cherkasky to the front. Simon juggles it out of the air. Knocked down Cherkasky. No penalty call. The Islander fans are getting more and more upset with each infraction they seem to think deserves a penalty. High sticking call here, high sticking the puck.
And it's time now to take a look at our Geico goal of the game. It's not going to be Jaromir Jagr, he's got a helper, but it's going to be Nolan Yonkman. Here it is, his first NHL goal. There it is into the back of the net sneaking in, and look at that clean out at the end. Gotta love it. There he is, the high five send. Gotta love it. Nolan Yonkman, congrats. You'll remember this night for as long as you live. Awesome goal.
21 years of age, giving himself a late birthday present. Turned 21 this week.
Yeah, he wanted to keep up with JF. Sure, JF was giving it to him.
Well, now Nolan can definitely give it back, considering Fortans was slightly different.
Well, but Fortans in the future will be end-to-end, an end-to-end rush.
Right.
All my goals are a lot better than they really were. You know that, don't you?
All too well. All too well. Joe Bennannatti with former 50 goal getter Craig Laughlin.
No, 30 real good ones.
Attaboy. Fans, you can get the latest on the Caps and all your favorites nightly, 10 o'clock. Sports Nights presented by Northrop Grumman Information Technology. Wrap up the day with the hottest sports news, the best game highlights. You can catch it tonight after the game for post-game highlights and analysis. 10 minutes, 56 seconds away from the end of regulation time. Washington hoping to mount a spirited comeback. The New York Islanders, a team that's run roughshod over the Southeast Division this year, unbeaten in 13 of 17 against Washington's brethren. Not beating the Caps this year, but beating them down to this point tonight. Forbes on the drive. Osgood got himself into a spot of trouble there. Konowalchuk for Dahlin. NHL game number 900 for Alfie. Lost to Kavasha. Cote keeps it on the move for Washington. 5-on-5 they work. Evgeny Korolev slugs it all the way, and when Cote touches, you'll hear the whistle for icing.
There's a look at Kono. Would like to have his first goal of the season. The heart and soul guy of the Caps. Right now, 10:18 left. Kono and company have to fight for their lives now. Montreal against Columbus now up 2-0. Quintel and Perreault has just added one for the Habs. 2-0.
Uh-oh. Konowalchuk, his productivity against the Islanders spelled out for you. Peter Bondra is always productive against the Islanders. Bondra to this point with an assist tonight. That came on the power play goal, the first goal of the game for the Caps. Dmitry Kristich back in period 1. Gonchar with a drive, boxed away. Kenny Janssen hurls it ahead. Cherkasky on the run. Marius Cherkasky tries a little spin move on Brendan Witt, and Witt bulldogs him down to the ice. Back comes Kristich with Bondra. Peter Bondra was sent down, crashing to the ice as well. Gonchar hooks it to the front. Nikolitin with a wrister stop. Osgood made the save there on the rebound as Kristich was dangerous again. Nikolitin to Bondra. Kristich topples over, turns it over, 2-on-1. Pekka with Cherkowski. Pekka in, Kolzig the pad save. Cherkowski has the rebound. Pekka back behind the goal, fanned on a centering pass. Cherkowski pivots to the corner. Brendan Witt right there in tow. 9:20 to go in the third period. 5-2 for the white sweatered Islanders. Pekka. Blake works around a pick. His shot was deflected by Gonchar into the end zone seats. Time for us to step away. More than halfway home in the third. Blake and the Islanders still cruising.
Experience the internet without the worldwide wait with Comcast high-speed internet. Download faster than dial-up or DSL for as little as $39.95 a month. Enjoy an always-on connection, no dial-ups or busy signals. And with Comcast, there's no need to pay extra for a second phone line or another internet service provider. Order Comcast high-speed internet today and receive your first month free. 30 days of high-speed internet free without the hassles and extra costs of dial-up service. Call Comcast today.
It's daylight savings time at Value City Furniture, so spring ahead with great home furnishing values.
Like this incredible 7-piece white lacquer wall bed, just $7.99. You save $400.
Pay just $6.99 for this modern 2-piece living room. Also save $400.
Save $100 on this modern 5-piece dinette, just $199.
And you'll always be on time with our retro-style alarm clock, now just $9.
Remember, it's daylight savings time this weekend at Value City Furniture.
Don't be late.
This is ridiculous.
Just keep looking. What about the one on the right?
I love this.
With a Nokia 3360 phone and AT&T wireless service.
No, more right.
This?
You can send and receive text messages.
Yeah, that's what she wants. I mean, I think that's what she wants.
And right now, with a $50 rebate from AT&T Wireless, it's everything you ever wanted.
How did you know?
Folks, if you're looking for a new ride, Capital Cadillac's Washington's #1 Cadillac dealership. They provide excellent customer service and satisfaction. Why don't you check out the all-new Cadillac CTS at Cap Cadillac. Come in to see and drive the new CTS soon. Joe Bennannatti, Craig Laughlin with you down the stretch from Uniondale, New York, the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, Nassau County on Long Island, where the Islanders lead the Capitals by 3. Kavasha, one of the goal getters tonight, with Bates. Bates is wired against the boards by Fortin. Parrott working with the Cote. Off a little pick. Bates works to the slot and fires, and a kneeling Kolzig made the save. Zubris deking away from Parrish. It is Cote parked behind the goal. Yager will swing. Jaromir Yager works it through center. Kavasha made sure he wouldn't go far. Only Mike Gartner and Mario Lemieux have scored more goals all time against the Islanders than Yager. Yager has not scored against the Isles this season in 4 games as the Caps are whistled for icing.
Time now to take a look at our Force 3 driving force, and it's that guy on your screen. Chris Osgood has been downright good. Here stopping Chris Simon. Breakaway off that pass from Gonchar. Backhand. Then the follow-up forehand. Kristen Zettler. Gonchar on the doorstep. Nice save with the right pass by Osgood. And then Yager to Gonch again off the catching glove and blocker and out of harm's way. Osgood gets our driving force 3 of this hockey game. And Billy Smith, he's chasing him. When you look at the records around the New York Islanders, Billy Smith's 32 wins, the most in franchise history. If he wins tonight, he'll have number 30, may be able to tie him before the season's over.
As Brendan Witt's clearing attempt winds up in the seats, there's Billy Smith looking down from on high at the work of Chris Osgood and the Islanders tonight.
Yeah, he's a goalie consultant here, working with Osgood and Garth Snow. Billy Smith, I guess you could say, a thorn in the side of the back of most Capitals, huh?
Oh. Back, front, knees.
Everywhere. I think I still have a couple of bruises, too, for him.
Billy Smith has to be pleased with the work of Garth Snow, too. We heard from Peter Laviolette earlier tonight how well Snow has performed in some very critical and crucial games.
Twice against Philly, twice against Boston, and in relief against St. Louis. And all times he pulled it out of the fire.
Garth Snow, Wrentham, Massachusetts native, loves beating the Boston Bruins, of course, and a former UMaine Black Bear, Garth Snow. Black Bears and Gophers in the NCAA hockey final. Men's style. Blake for LaPointe. Claude LaPointe drifting back, finds Korolev. Lock and load through a screen, and Kolzig has it in the webbing of his glove.
That's an excellent stop with Blake right on the doorstep. Korolev not seeing a whole lot of ice time in this hockey game, but it's a good hard slap shot from the point. Here it is. Here's the slap shot. Korolev's a big young defenseman, and he lets it fly. And look at Blake right on the doorstep. He's waiting for any loose change. There was none coming forth there from Ole Kolzig. There you see the block out in front by Witt. That allows Kolzig to get his body in position. And there's the catching glove save. The defensemen have not really played a whole lot. Korolev is 9 minutes and 21 seconds through 40. He's been in and out, but now in the rotation, you're going to see a lot more of him.
Korolev summoned from AHL Bridgeport in January. The Islanders have had many a bump and bruise along the back line this year as Bister swipes an outlet pass. Beautiful moves. Head save Kolzig. Rebound just jammed wide by Cherkovsky. 5-2 New York, and they were close to putting up a half dozen there. Janssen, who has one of them, peppers it around to the corner. Cherkovsky. Point position Janssen. Once more behind the cage. Nolan Yonkman in tow. Cherkovsky stepping to the front. Nearly beheaded Ole Kolzig with that wrist shot. Isles captain Pekka to the deep slot for Isbister. It bounced over his blade. Peter Bondra gliding back 3-on-3. Bondra picks up Metropolitan. Once more, Gonchar walking in. Gonchar robbed. It was Osgood getting back. And then Janssen with a collision to take the net from its moorings.
That was a smart play by Janssen, cleaning out Metropolitan, because had he done it himself, there would have been a penalty and a penalty shot. But not in this case, because Janssen nailed Metro into the pipe as Gonchar was trying to dipsy-do. Nice passing play, fake shot, trying to curl around him and watch them come in. Right here at the end of that, didn't get it past his glove at the last minute. There comes Janssen and Metropolitan at the end of that play.
Just saw Chris Osgood as our driving force of the night. Watch the extension on the glove. Just make the save.
Just gets there.
Osgood, talk about his win totals. This guy's only 29 years of age. 250 wins in 10 seasons. Playing in Detroit will help you do that. And having a fine season on Long Island will also buff your totals.
Didn't he let some long goals in there in Detroit? Huh?
Well, he was maligned for a boo-boo or two in the playoffs. Zubris from close range. Yager hits the top corner. Jaromir Yager fires it home. Don't look now. It's a 2-goal lead.
Well, Turbo told us they're going to storm back. Jaromir Yager is just a matter of time with the way the big fella's been playing for the Caps, and there he puts home his 31st. His 2-point night continues at 13:06. Nice snapshot from the high slot. Puck rolls on him a little bit, but he knows where to shoot it, and he does right into that top corner. He starts the play. Simon chips it. Zuby will get a helper. Simon should get a helper, and Yager will get the goal. There's Osgood looking around saying, guys, where are you in front? Well, there's a lot in front, but everyone's screening them, and there's that quick release into the top corner.
That was a lightning bolt from Jaromir Yager, and suddenly, after falling behind 5-1, at the 1:24 mark of the third period, the Caps are in business. Zubris for the blast, deflected into the end zone seats, and I mean the third tier of end zone seats.
Well, you talk about being back in business. They're back because of this guy. 2-goal lead, worst lead in hockey. Let's start that now. Here's Yager out in front. Here's an isolation, picking up the puck. Watch him get it in one swoop into the back of the net, and then the little pump, breaking that 6-game goalless drought. Jaromir Yager does it here in the third.
Yager beating Chris Osgood for just the second time in his career. He's got points now in 9 of his last 12 games. Peter Laviolette is going to take some time here to cool things off.
Yep, scolding his team. He's taking a timeout. saying, come on, fellas, got to hold on to this. We got to play defense. We can't look for all night because it just cost us. Jaromir Jagr's got them to within striking distance.
7 other games going on tonight. Caps and Islanders for you on Comcast Sportsnet. Jaromir Jagr from Simon and Zubris moments ago, making it a 5-3 game. North of the border, Montreal has struck again. Patrice Brisebois beating Marc Denis.
What are all those D doing scoring? Quintel, Brisebois, and Perreault, the goal scorers. Perreault, the only forward of the bunch.
Islanders and Caps, 24 shots apiece. It's a 5-3 ball game with 6.5 to go in the third. Scatchard out for Bates. Won't go very far. Sergei Gonchar working with Sylvain Cote now in back for Washington. A power play here for the Caps would do nicely, thank you. Zubris on the wing for Jagr. Forced back by Scatchard. Bates there tying things up. Gonchar regrouping, switched it up for Cote. Zubris with momentum now. Dinas Zubris on the move. Hits the gap. Goes to the corner against Hammerlick. Hammerlick gives him a ride. Roman Hammerlick didn't get it clear. Pekka will with Bates on a 2-on-2. Michael Pekka darting down his off wing, looking for help, and now more than content to just leave it back behind the goal as Simon came running at Pekka. That's payback time. Chris Simon scoops it to the corner. Dahlin charging after Van Imp. Van Imp chopped it along the boards, and back to center it comes. JF Fortin right in position to repel Cherkovsky. His Bister on the overlap. Pekka won't keep it in. Dahlin charging back along. Konowalchuk driving in on a coin, and a coin took a good angle there. Dahlin spilled. Kristich to the point. Witt on the way. It's loose in front. Osgood made an alert poke check with 5 minutes to go in the third.
Otto just a fraction of a second late arriving. Dog tired at the end of that shift. Just didn't get there in time for that juicy rebound.
Caps need 2 to tie. Nikolitin swerving back. Nikolitin lost it. A coin will settle. Kovasha working 2-on-3. A back-checking Metropolit will thieve it from him. Glenn Metropolit scampering out of his own zone. Metropolit very shifty. Finds Nikolitin. Nikolitin lobbing it right to Osgood, and routinely he'll hold it for the whistle. A very interesting finish, perhaps, down the stretch on Comcast Sportsnet. It's just a 2-goal deficit.
Bold, powerful, and a great way to get to work. Dodge.
Subway has a new bread made with that bee guy's honey and his oats. Oh, whoa. That can't be good. There's one right there. Hey, where you going? Subway's this way.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Kelly. Mr. Honey and Mr. Oat.
Subway's new Honey Oat on wheat bread is delicious. We start with tasty wheat bread, coat it with honey, sprinkle it with oats, and bake it all together. It's one of Subway's 2 new gourmet breads.
They make great bread together. We just got to become better friends with the bees.
Subway!
They open up to late-night fun, to Sunday family outings. From the bus, to the train, to destinations all over the world. They open up to the road to success. And with hundreds of new buses and trains, they bring people together. More than 1 million people like you step through them every day. Every day, Metro opens doors.
Kelly Miller, now an assistant coach for the New York Islanders and for a long time on the Washington Capitals roster. His outstanding defensive efforts would be well served in an open game like this.
Oh, yeah, great longevity throughout his career. Got a couple of brothers that could play this game very well also. One of them on the ice for the Islanders, Kip Miller. And Kelly Miller started his coaching in the North American Hockey League, then moved on from junior to an assistant coach out west. Now he's moved back to the Islanders along with Laviolette. He's done an excellent job. They've got a nice trio behind the bench.
Metropolitan, Nicolishin, and Bondra on ice, trying to get Washington one more closer. They need 2 to tie. Johnson pushing and shoving with Bondra. Determinedly right to the front. Score! Glenn Metropolitan! It's 5-4.
And that just because of the release and fighting for the puck. There it is, his first of the year as a Cap. Puts it into the back of the net. He's been waiting a long while to put the puck in the back of the net. He had 16 helpers coming in. Now he's got his first goal at 15:44, and it's the fight for the puck that freezes the goaltender. The puck's laying there, and there he is. He beats the defensive forward for the Islanders and gets the snapshot away. Unsuspecting was the netminder, thinking that the Caps were tied up. Watch in front, and it's Michael Pekka, one of the best in the business, that he pickpockets the puck and puts it into the back of the net. 5-4. Hold on.
Absolutely amazing. Thumbs up to the guys in black. They could have rolled over easily when it was 5-1 early in the third. Instead, they are fighting the Islanders tooth and nail, and they are now within 1 with plenty of time. 4 minutes to go. Hammerlick will clear. Cote and Gonchar on ice. Parrish drawing a bead on Cote.
What did I say about that 2-goal lead?
Worst lead in hockey.
Exactly, and they got it to that stage, and that's what they were thinking on the bench. It gives you a motivation, and it gives you a lift being down by 2, because you know the Islanders now are going to be on their heels. And proof of the pudding is right there, icing the puck right away on when they get some pressure.
Tonight's Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Caps hockey has been brought to you by King Pontiac Buick GMC, Maryland's #1 Pontiac Buick GMC dealer. By Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. By Verizon, take care of your Verizon bills the quick and easy way at the new Verizon.com. And by your local Mercedes-Benz dealers. Here at the Nassau Coliseum, Nolan Yonkman ignited the comeback. Yager, Metropolitan succession, 3 in a row for Washington. Metropolitan from Bondra and Nicolishin. And with 3 minutes and 36 seconds to play in the third, Washington is now 1 away from erasing a 4-goal deficit. Bates will work with Kavacha, and Bates will play dump and chase. Jim Schoenfeld, one of his favorite sayings. Never take your foot off of the snake, right?
Exactly. Don't ever give them a chance to get back. And that's what the Capitals have done to this Islander team. They're back in this game, Joe. Still have a chance to pull the goalie. They still have momentum on their side. The Islanders are going to be shaken a little bit. This is a young team that hasn't been in this position as much as a lot of the veterans on the Capitals side.
Ron Wilson's club, perhaps, in the backs of their minds, they know how they have dominated the Islanders. Perhaps the Islanders are even thinking about, oh no, it's happening to us again.
I know it is. That's what happens on the bench. And the Caps are all saying, come on, boys, we're there. We've got them on their heels. We got them where we want them. That timeout, when he scolded his club, gave some of the Caps maybe time to start thinking about their games. And now you're going to see a lot of those guys that we've showcased at the top of the show logging a ton of minutes, like Yager, Zubris, Bondra, Gonchar. Look for them to get the majority of work down the stretch here.
The Caps came from 4-1 down earlier this year to tie the Pittsburgh Penguins at ICENET. That was Bondra at the 1959 mark of the third period. They came from 4-1 down on the road trip in San Jose, tied the game, eventually lost it to the Sharks. They've never rallied back from 5-1 this season. Jaromir Jagr wouldn't mind changing that storyline right here. Jagr, a blue dart of a wrister. Glenn Metropolitan, so thirsty for his first NHL goal this season. Just got a chance to quench his thirst. And Nolan Yonkman, with all the enthusiasm befitting one's first NHL goal. Those are the last 3 of the game. 5-4 for the Islanders. Jaromir Jagr revs it up. Jagr spun around by Parrish. Konowalchuk continuing the thrust. Along the wall will come for Zubris. Zubris fighting for it. Out of the corner with Konowalchuk. Yager there. Konowalchuk to the front. Stop. Rebound. Osgood has that underneath him.
Great chance. Turnover by the Islanders because of the Capitals' heat down low. And Kono with a great chance driving to the net. In front of the net, you have Dinas Zubris down. Looked like he might have got a shot right in his gut there. Maybe winded. Here comes Smitty off the ice. And onto the ice off the bench to take a look at Zuby. Zuby's going to get right up. Here's the play by Kono. Nice power move. Poor defensive position. Yager chips it to Kono. There's the shot. 2 whacks, and then he tries to dig it out. Sticking that stick into the gut of the netminder, Osgood. Just can't get it to go. Cairns taking care of Yager, which allowed Kono that lane to the net. He's trying to strike with his first of the year also for the Caps. This is his best chance of the game.
12 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the third period, and the Islanders were up by a 5-1 margin. That is when Nolan Yonkman scored. Since then, wow, has the tide turned. 2:25 to go now in period 3. Washington within 1, and Steve Konowalchuk inches away from tying it.
And there's a couple of the owners for this hockey club. Charles Wang on the right, Sanjay Kumar on the left. Owners looking on, hoping they're going to get to the playoffs this season as owners of this hockey club.
Magic number for the Islanders, 1. They needed 1 point in the remainder of the season. Washington would gladly say, sure, have your point with an overtime loss, as long as the Caps come out of here with 2, because it sure looks like Montreal's on its way to a win. In fact, we understand it's now gone final in Montreal, Quebec. The Canadiens downing the visiting Blue Jackets 4-1.
Theodore's tough.
Oh,
he's on top of his game.
Metropolitan, Nikolation, Bondra right to left. Cote and Gonchar in back. I'd love to see Sergei get one uncorked. How about Cote? Wide on the short side. So then Cote lunged to keep it in. Nikolation there. Just over 2 minutes to go in the third period. Washington trailing by 1. We'll keep an eye on Colson. Along the wall, Gonchar beaten to it. Claude Lapointe will tap back to center. Nikolation ran right into Mike Pekka. Cote around for Sergei Gonchar. Sets his sights on the wing. Metropolitan stood up in a sturdy manner by a coin. Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Nikolation would play it in. If you stayed with us tonight on Comcast Sportsnet, you deserve this kind of a finish, and the Caps have worked brilliantly to provide it. We get a whistle and a hand pass here. Face-off will come back to neutral.
No, Ron Wilson's club has really fought back. That last play, the defense are going to be pinching all night long, and this Islander hockey club, I'm sure, been told, get the puck up high by Laviolette, and that's what happened on that last sequence. They got it up, and that forced Witt to come into the air with his glove, knock it down for that hand pass to Metropolitan.
Caps 5-game unbeaten streak. Ron Wilson's club has authored that in the latter stages of this regular season. They forged their way 2 games above the 500 mark. They're in 9th in the East. Jaromir Jagr has never missed the Stanley Cup playoffs. Montreal, though, is making it difficult for Jagr and the Caps. Now Washington, with 1 minute and 39 seconds left, which Wick to work and make a comeback come full circle. Mark Parrish out there for the Isles. Scatchard, Bates, Janssen, and a coin. 5 on ice and white. Simon, Zubris back out there. Gonchar, Jagr, Bondra. It is a sea of Islander fans waving towels and pom-poms. A team that has not tasted Stanley Cup playoff action since '94. If they hold on, they're there. Then it's just a matter of how high they can go. Scatchard to bend to the task with Dinas Zubris. Kolzig still positioned in his goal crease. Washington controls the draw. Bondra tried to feather it for Yager. Yager makes a beeline to it back behind the cage. Janssen holds him up. A coin there as well. Kolzig still in the crease. 5-on-5. Gaunchar walks the line. Ole now sprints to the player's bench. Behind the cage, it's Simon. Simon burrowing to the front. Yager short side stop. Rebound, it's still loose. Osgood trying to find it. Scatcher can't get it out just yet. 6-on-5 for Washington. 70 seconds in regulation. And the puck leaves the playing surface for a whistle.
Wow, good pressure by the Caps once again against that guy, Osgood. Good scramble in front. Power move by Jaromir Jagr. Just couldn't get the handle on the puck for the second time to flip it up and over Osgood as he was sprawling in the crease.
The Islanders have used their timeout. Washington has not until now.
And here you take a look, Simon behind the net, and here's a little pass to Jagr. Just didn't get that first one flat from Chris Simon. Didn't get it up. He wanted to go up high, in tight, as you always want to do. One more look. Here's Cy behind the net. It's a lucky bounce, and there's the puck. And there's the stick coming in from the forward, which helped out his cause. Bates getting a chunk of that Jagr shot.
We're at even strength now, although it'll be 6-on-5 for Washington with the netminder pulled. Our Hyundai power play comparison from earlier tonight.
Now, there's been 6 power plays in this hockey game. The Caps are 1 for 4 against the Islanders. The Islanders went 0 for 2. Zone time 3:43 compared to 2:14. The Caps mustered up 5 power play shots in their 4 power plays. And the Caps power play is ranked 3rd. The Islanders 11th.
That little guy doesn't have a worry in the world. Ole Kolzig crossing his fingers, but the Caps will tie this one up. 5-4 for New York. 1 minute, 9 seconds to go. Kolzig, who really didn't have a prayer on the 2 second period goals, would love to have a couple of the markers back from tonight. Tim Army, though, on the right there, defiantly told you between periods 2 and 3 that the Caps would come back, and that they have. Now, high drama if they can put it away and silence another sellout crowd on Long Island. 6 on ice, Nicolishin, Jagr, Bondra, Gaunchar, Zubris, and Simon. Claude Lapointe will be asked to take the draw. The linesman Morin sets up. Washington control. Gaunchar with patience. Jagr tripped up. One hands it to the front. Zubris, it's loose. It's still there. Backhand blocked. Jagr behind the cage. Under a minute to go in regulation. Jaromir Jagr swivels. Islanders falling all over the place defensively. Jagr manhandled to the corner. Pekka trying to jam it free. Zubris rolling towards the front. He was tackled. No call. Nicolishin to the point. Bondra fires. Blocked there by 2 Islanders. Bondra a chance to reload. Wrister knocked away by Pekka. 30 seconds to play. Bondra couldn't use his stick there.
It broke in half.
25 seconds left for the Islanders to endure. Gaunchar will slug it in. Osgood plays it along the boards. Washington overloading that side. Jagr looking for it. Janssen got it out. 14 seconds to play. Bondra with a new hockey stick. Zubris from glove to stick. 8 seconds left. A coin will clear it. Bondra, 85-footer stopped by Osgood, and I heard a whistle. I heard a whistle with 2.7 left.
It's unfortunate in this game that the referees late in it didn't call some penalties. You said it. The Caps were tackled, they were clawed, they were tripped, and no calls on the play. And they're storming around the Islander crease like crazy and getting hauled down. It was open season and open tackle season, like a football game out there in front of Osgood.
Couple of broken sticks out there. Last one we showed did not belong to Peter Bondra, but Bondra was foiled by one right there.
Yep, there it is. His blade breaks off, and there he kicks the puck. Notice Pekka, no lid on his head. And the Caps asking for more time on the clock. You could hardly hear yourself all the way up here because of the fans. And Connell right over to make sure they get more time. Face-off will be outside. What a valiant effort. And some non-calls down the stretch here late.
For those of you unsure, Bondra cannot play the puck with a broken stick. If he does in that situation, it's a penalty. That's why he alertly dropped the blade and soccer-styled it back. But with 2.1 seconds left, the Caps will need a miracle. Referees Jackson and Warren over to the timekeeper's bench. They'll adjust it to 2.7. The face-off will come at the center dot. Washington now, specifically Ron Wilson, asking for Dave Jackson to come to the players' bench to explain.
There's a look at the Islander bench. One guy we haven't seen a whole lot in this period is Alexei Yashin. Hasn't seen the ice a whole lot defensively. Maybe not up to snuff in this game, playing a lot of Michael Pekka. Yashin's a big rig. Haven't seen him out there.
He's not out there now. The Islander fans have to hope that he's not injured. 28-24.
Well, he might be because I only count 19 Islanders.
That's my point. 28-24, Islanders trailing in shots, but winning this game and ending a long curse against the Washington Capitals and an even longer dry spell from the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And the Verizon star of the game is Chris Osgood. Came up with some big saves late against the Washington Capitals. Picks up win number 30 of the season, his 5th 30-win season for Chris Osgood.
Boy, this turned out to be an exciting Saturday night on Long Island, especially so for the guys in white. They had their hearts aflutter when the Washington Capitals, with all fire and brimstone, came back and almost erased a 5-1 deficit. Quite a triumph for New York. For Craig Laughlin, for Bill Bell, for all of a wonderful crew in New York tonight, Joe Bennannatti, thanking you for your time. This time, until next. Congratulations to the New York Islanders. They've qualified for the playoffs, and they've made Washington's quest for the postseason all the more difficult. New York's a winner tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. Have a great evening, everyone. Sports Night is next.
The proceeding has been a special presentation of ICENET, the Islanders Championship Entertainment Network.